Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good morning. I don't know what time it is where you are. Here in Kenya, it's a fantastic evening. Ni saa nne usiku na ndio tumeanza show yako tayari ndio hii imejaja. Welcome to this great conversation we are about to have just now. Karibu sana kwa hii show. This is your show. Your show has just begun. Asante sana. I'm your Kai. I'm your host, Jakes, the moderator, and this is Afriq 24. Here at Afriq 24, we choose to wish you a happy new year 2024. Wadau, happy new year 2024. We wish you good health this year. We wish you wealth this year. We wish you new blessings to count each day of 2024. Here at Afriq 24, we are wishing you a happy New Year 2024. Wadau, may this year be your year. May this year bring you good tidings. May this year be the year where joy will never cease. May God do you good in this year 2024. Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. People from all over, whether you're watching me from Kenya, from the US, from Canada, from Australia, from the United Arabs, from wherever you're watching, happy new year. It's a new year to you and your family. It's a year that I know God will do you great and marvelous things. Simbarikiwe tu sana mwaka huu. We wish you here at Afriq 24 health, wealth, and new blessings to count each day in 2024. Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. Karibuni sana. Show yako ndo hii imeanza. Hii ikiwa ni siku mosi Januari 2024, siku ya kwanza ya mwaka. As I promised you last year, ikiisha mwaka huu itajaa vituko, itajaa bwembwe, itajaa mihemko hapa kule. And man, oh man, tarehe moja na mambo ndo hiyo imeanza. Nakwambia kuna mambo kibao. I have a lot to tell you. I have a lot to inform you. All right. So welcome to this show. Welcome to this show. The best thing you can do for us this wonderful year is subscribe to Afriq 24. Keep it here at Afriq 24. Here we will give you content after content. Here we will dive into issues, into matters making headlines every single night. Inapotimu saa 4 utatukuta hapa tukijaribu kung'amua maswala mengi ambayo yanatuafikia kila siku. But otherwise, I hope you're well. I hope you are well from wherever you are tuning in from. Karibu sana. This is Afriq 24. I'm your host, Jakes, the moderator. Na mwaka huu ni mwaka wako wa kujinice, mwaka wako wa kuenjoy good health, mwaka wako wa kuenjoy wealth, mwaka wako wa kuenjoy new blessings, and above all, to count each blessing every single day. Yeah. I wish you a very fantastic year. Okay. Wow. I'll be telling you how people waliruka mwaka, but can I now begin the show? All right. Happy New Year to you and to your folks. Wow, swala nyeti, swala mufti, topic kali, thumbnail ndo hiyo wadau. Well, I tell you, it's another one better than the other ones. Of course, ya kwanza kabisa mwaka huu. Zakayo ameambiwa afanye ile kitu, ameambiwa umezoea bwana, umetuzoea bwana. Mwaka huu wa 2024 hatutazoeana. In any case, Zakayo ameambiwa ashuke. Yeah, I'll be telling you who mentioned those words and why. Well, Zakayo ili trend hadi kwa BBC. You remember, I'll be showing you. I think we aired that some days back. But the word Zakayo is almost synonymous with one William Ruto, the president of Kenya. And today aliambiwa, you know what, hizi taxes zako zimeuka mono. They have been too much, and this year you must reduce them. Otherwise, we are headed to the streets. Those were the words of none other than the former prime minister, his one and only Raila Odinga. What that Raila Odinga says that, you know what, Zakayo, you must shuka. Ukitaka ukichanganya Kiswahili na Kizungu ina sound funny, but Zakayo ameambiwa ashuke. Alright, taxes zimekuwa kibao, taxes zimekuwa nyingi. Round hii it's a battle between these two fine gentlemen, Zakayo amefanya Wakenya wanalalama kila pembe, Watu hawaku travel hii Krisi wase walirepose, Watu waliruka mwaka wakiwa wametulia, you know. Watu hawakuwa na mbwembwe kama za miaka za hapo awali. Watu walirelax. Why? Because Zakayo amefanya watu ile kitu, taxes left, right and center. But zaidi ya yote hii mwaka ni ile mwaka, and I think many wamemwamulia. I'll be playing you clips ya leaders ambao wana support the call for maandamano. So you really want to stick around to watch this awesome first edition here at Afriq 24. And if you haven't subscribed, ladies and gentlemen, kindly let that be the first thing you do this year, subscribing to Afriq 24. Zakayo ameambio, mseya, fanya vipi? Raundi unafaa ushuke. Ashushe, jana tulishusha nyavu, Watu wa Nairobi walishusha nyavu, lakini sasa hii mwaka kama baada ya kushusha nyavu na Christine Shusho, sasa tunashukisha Zakayo. Tunashukisha Zakayo, baada ya kushusha nyavu jana, Sijui ulishusha nyavu ukiwa pande gani, lakini zaidi ya yote karibu sana kwa mwaka huu, karibu kwa hii kipindi. Zakayo ameambiwa ashuke, aache mambo kibao, aache kupandisha taxes left, right and center. And as if that is not enough, tumeanza mwaka with other interesting news. I'll be playing you many clips, equally showing you many pictures, But from today being the 1st of January 2024, today being the 1st of January 2024, ladies and gentlemen, there is a very huge breaking news. I don't know if you have heard about it, but here it is. From today, the 1st of January 2024, Kenya is proud to be a visa-free country. I don't know if we are proud, but anyway, wanasema that for seamless trips to Kenya, all travelers must now complete an electric travel authorization before departure. Hiyo tu, hakuna story sasa za visa. From today, breaking news from the State Department of Immigration and Citizen Services here in Kenya. Hivi ndio wanasema from today, Kenya is visa free. I don't know what you make of that news, but hiyo ndio news ya kwanza. Na Zakayo ameambia bro, fanya vipi raundi shuka. Before udhani hizi ni stories zangu za jaba, I want to play my first clip for 2024, even as I invite you to join me in this awesome, great conversation we are about to have. Zakayo, Shuka. Listen to this.
Challenged President William Ruto to reduce his appetite for taxation and bring down the cost of living in the country in an apparent rejoinder to the head of state's New Year's message. Now, speaking in Buhungu Stadium, Kakamega County, the Azimio leader noted that Kenyans have had a tumultuous year marked by economic hardship and asked the Kenya Kwanza administration to slam the brakes on executive spending and wastage as a gift to Kenyans in the new year.
Azimio leader Raila Odinga has continued his onslaught against what he terms a punitive taxation regime by the Kenya Kwanza administration and has vowed to mount pressure on the government to cut taxes, which he says have pushed the prices of essential commodities such as groceries and fuel out of control. The opposition in its New Year message to Kenyans outlined a raft of proposals they intend to adopt in the new year to tame what they say is the government's appetite for taxes, including a possible resumption of mass action to compel the government to reconsider its contested policies. Speaking at the Bukungu Stadium in Kakamega, Odinga says it's time for the government to stop turning a deaf ear to the pleas of Kenyans, vowing that the high taxation regime witnessed in the country in the last 1 year must come to an end.
Mwaka huu 2024 ikiwa mzuri kuliko ile ya 2023. Tunataka ushuru ishuke. Gharama ya maisha irudi chini.
In his New Year's message to Kenyans, Odinga pledged to form a broad-based anti-tax campaign to pursue budget cuts that would allow Kenyans to keep much more of their hard-earned money, adding that the opposition had no qualms about resuming anti-government street protests if the Kenya Kwanza government fails to remove the Finance Act 2023.
Zakayo awache kutoza watu ushuru. Zakayo ashuke. Aje hapa chini pamoja na sisi.
Accompanied by other Azimio leaders at the Bukungu ceremony, adding that the opposition had no qualms about resuming anti-government street protests if the Kenya Kwanza government fails to remove the Finance Act 2023.
Zakayo awache kutoza watu ushuru. Zakayo ashuke. Aje hapa chini pamoja na sisi.
Accompanied by other Azimio.
All right. Zakayo ashuke akuje hapa chini karibu na watu. Is this guy living in a different state than ours? Well, I'll be telling you how alijitetea kwa speech yake and many things that are happening. But mwaka umeanza na vita kati ya hawa mafahari wawili. It's a showdown between Raila Odinga and William Ruto. Now, this showdown, I'm telling you, it's bound to get hotter. Raila Odinga amesema raundi tunarudi kwa streets. Tunarudi kwa streets kwa sababu ya gharama ya maisha. We are going back to the streets to protest the high cost of living. Ladies and gentlemen, this year 2024 has begun on a high. Of course, with all this, I don't know what you think about the year 2024, but where Nikunoma, Nikumoto. So, ladies and gentlemen, even as you prepare to join us in this show and other show, I'll be playing many things today so as to brief you on what is happening here in the part of Kenya. Wadau, kuna kitu ingine pia imehappen leo. Sijui kama umenotice hii. Wale ambao mnatumia expressway from today inapanda from 360 to 300 to 500 shillings. All right, so hata kabla Zakayo hajashuka kuna kitu imepandishwa bei just today. I don't know if you have heard about this, but the lovers of the expressway, government may approve an increase in the expressway toll charges. Normally what people are paying at the moment is 360. What will you be paying from today? 500 shillings. Wageni mnakaribishwa hapa Kenya. Kenya yetu haina matata, na sasa kuingia Kenya ni bure bilashi. Unahitaji tu kuwa na traveling authorization electronically. Lakini ukikuja utumie barabara zetu, kama ulikuwa budget 360, from today it's 500 shillings from 1st of January. Na ndio tu tumeanza, and I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it's bound and it's almost becoming interesting than we expected. Well, no wonder Raila Odinga is saying, you know what, Mr. President, your taxes are too much. They are everywhere. Ukijikunja hivi, tax ndo hiyo. Ukijikunjua vingine, kalevi kamechapwa. And Raila Odinga is saying what? You know what? It's time. It's time that Zakayo ashuke. All right? Well, interesting. But zaidi yote, allow me to continue really briefing you in what has happened. Yesterday, we were to have a meeting in Nyeri. All right? We were to have a meeting in Nyeri with Maina Jenga. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Wale polisi walimwagwa Nyeri. Hey, stake ona. We had enough police to scare the wind. We had enough police, to shock darkness. I'm telling you, yesterday, anyone aliyejaribu kujifanya anaenda meeting, over 200 youths and more were arrested jana. That is happening as well. I think it's a showdown, I think, between Gachagua and Maina Jenga. The excuse from one Gachagua is, hey, Mongeke, this man anajaribu kufufua Mongeke. I'll be telling you about other former leaders of Mongeke, what they have said. Akina Ndura wa Roingi, do you remember them? I'll be playing you just now what they have said. I'll equally be playing you a statement from Maina Jenga himself. Many have been saying that, hey, Maina Jenga amejificha hii mtaa. Aliogopa jana kuona wale askari ambao walikuwa wamemwagwa maeneo ya Nyeri. He didn't show up for the meeting. He's saying, sijajificha, sijajificha, niko around. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, as I've promised you, vitu ni kibao, and time ndio kama kawa, muda ndio inakuanga mchache. Okay? So I have just posted on your comment section the link to join me. If you want to join me live here on stage, the link is there with you, even as I usher in most of my panelists. But zaidi ya yote, kujiunga nami kwa studio si ngumu. Kupitia hiyo link nimekutumia hapo chini. Hiyo link inaingia kwa Mtembei TV, inaingia kwa Afriq 24, inaingia kwa Leo TV. Hiyo link ukiingia, ukiiguza, unajiunga nasi hapa kwa studio. Lakini zaidi ya yote, wacha pia ni wasabahi wale ambao wamejiunga nami na wanawish wengi wetu happy new year. I see good year tayari ashasema happy new year Sir Jex, asante sana, good year and good year, happy new year to you. Vitaanza ndimi. Richard Relay unasema uko ndani, unasema Zakayo ashuke, maisha ni magumu. Alright. Laban Masiani anasema tuko tayari kufa kwa maandamano kuliko kufa njaa. Okay. Joseph Kioko na kuona, Joseph Kioko Peculiar uko na anasema he needs to consider the poor. All right, you're talking about Ruto, that he needs to consider the poor. This is a government that came in with the agenda of pro-poor. Waliongelea mama mboga, wakaongelea msee wa bodaboda, msee wa nduthi, msee wa salon, msee wa huko chini. All right, and then they coined the bottom up. Tutaanzia kule chini. Unfortunately, that wasn't the story, and many really are feeling the pain. No one has been spared, whether you are down there or up here. No one has been spared. Yeah. To some, life that was bad became worse. To some, life that was barely livable became something unimaginable. Many are struggling to feed themselves. Many didn't enjoy Christmas. Many didn't travel. Many stayed at home. And the taxes seems not to be coming down. The levies are not coming down anytime soon. All right? That's why we're asking ourselves, is it time for Zakayo kushuka? So that is the discussion we are about to have. And equally, I'll be playing you what Kalonzo Musyoka's vision is for 2024. Kalonzo says that in 2024, he will traverse the entire country. In 2024, Kalonzo purpose to be a busy man. Kalonzo in 2024 says that atazunguka kila mahali, akingangana kujiunda. Kalonzo seems to be an interesting man, and we will be talking about him in just a short while. But this is what he has said, even as he wished many Kenyans a happy new year, that he will move over the country, all over the country this year, 2024. Of course, to make sure that he wins in 2027, because he's saying the contest of 2027, if it has to be won, it will be won in the year 2024. Hey, interesting remarks. All right, so that is what Kalonzo Musyoka is saying. That is what he is saying, okay? But before I do so many things, can I show you vile Wakenya waliruka mwaka huu? Even as we prepare to go on with all this politics, there is a lot. I've just touched the tip of the iceberg. There is a lot I even have prepared, and I have them ready for you, ladies and gentlemen. So you just relax, pause, and watch all this. And equally, you can join me in the studio kwa kupitia link ambayo nimekutumia. But this is how Kenyans waliruka mwaka.
Displays, however, in Busia, 3 people died after a motorist drove into a procession of believers who were leaving a church service that had just ushered in the new year. Among the three was the driver of the private car who was lynched by an angry mob. Ben Kirui reports.
The countdown to 2024 set the stage for breathtaking fireworks that illuminated the skyline, drawing crowds to iconic spots such as Old Mutual Towers, Two Rivers Mall, and GTC. These buildings, known for their tradition of elaborate fireworks displays, put on dazzling spectacles.
The fireworks were amazing. Definitely an experience that I wish everyone could experience.
Entertainment joints as well as places of worship were filled as Kenyans bid 2023 farewell, ushering in 2024 with worship and prayers, music, fun, and laughter.
My 2023 has been very awesome. I thank God. This is the year that many of my prayers came to pass.
New Year's messages from Kenyans resonated with optimism and expectations for a promising year.
Nina matumaini makubwa kuwa mwaka huu utakuwa mwaka wa mafanikio na yale mambo ambayo hatukuyatimiza mwaka uliopita. Natumai mwaka huu Mungu atatuwezesha tuweze kutimiza kwa mwaka huu.
My 2024 resolution is basically just bettering myself and being a better person and helping as many people as I can.
I'm expecting my 2024 to be a good year. I'm hoping that God will just make it a good year as possible.
Church leaders emphasized the need for peace and national unity.
I believe in harmony. I believe in unity. And I believe all of us are Kenyans. The opposition and those who are in government. We are all brothers and sisters.
Sisi tuko tayari wakati wote kama kanisa kusimama katikati ili kuwe na hiyo hali ya masikizano ili watu waweze kuendelea kule mahali Mungu ametuambia twende.
From Nairobi to Nakuru, Kisii, Mombasa, Narok, Busia, and Baringo, millions across the country united in ushering in the new year.
We're happy that people are here. We're happy that we've been able to usher in the new year.
However, a fire scare at Old Mutual Towers followed the spectacular fireworks display. Old Mutual stated that the minor incident at the building's balcony was swiftly contained. In Busia County, 3 lives were lost and several people left injured last night on the Butula-Bumala Road. A motorist plowed into a group of people who had just left a New Year service at a local church. An angry mob took matters into its hands, resulting in the death of the motorist, a retired soldier. His body was burned along with the car. Ben Kirui.
All right. Sorry to those who lost their lives. It's tragic, but all the same, we start on a positive note that we wish you a happy new year. Despite the loss, we still count all our blessing. Quick up, it's not even easy. But let's go back to what we were discussing. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I was saying, it's bound to be an interesting year. This will be one year that will define a lot in as far as politics is concerned. Okay, this year, as I told you, will really define a lot. Here we are going to see many emerging. We are going to see some political formation begin. Why? Because many will begin to align themselves as they focus to 2027. Here, William Ruto really needs to put his cards in order. But how will he do that? Okay. Now, in his speech yesterday, he said that the opposition has been sabotaging him. One of the reasons he feels he hasn't delivered to Kenyans is because the opposition, Azimio leaders and others, have been sabotaging him, of course, by taking most of his pet projects to court and everything else that they have been doing, and the demonstrations and many other things. Wow, right? So the president, on one hand, is complaining. The opposition, on the other hand, seems not to be relenting. Inakuwa ni mvutano. It is an interesting tug of war. Ninipe nikupe mwaka huu. Mwaka huu hakuna kupozi. Mwaka huu hakuna kurelax. And there are leaders who have begun to support maandamano. The maandamanos that were called just a few days ago by Raila Odinga. There are leaders, including one, Maina Njigi, who have prepared to join last time we saw how other leaders, union leaders for workers have agreed to support the maandamano. Now leaders as well have joined in the queue. And listen in to this one, ladies and gentlemen.
Meanwhile, a section of leaders have come out to support Azimio la Umoja leader Raila Odinga's move to return to Demos to pressurize the government to repeal the controversial Finance Act. Former presidential aspirant Jimmy Wanjigi says Raila's call is timely as Kenyans are overtaxed. The politician added that the cost of living was becoming unbearable and therefore the need to pressurize the government to act for the well-being of Kenyans.
I support him 101%. Street action, maandamano are embedded in our constitution. This pain must be expressed, and let it be expressed on the streets. Let it be expressed wherever, in our homes, in our churches. We must express it because we seem to have a government that is not listening. It is not going to be an easy year. That is the reality. Over a year ago, our debt was 8.6 trillion. Today it is 11 trillion. Even after paying 2 trillion shillings to that debt. That is the biggest threat to our lives, and it continues to be. The president was very clear. It is taking 7 out of every 10 shillings, 70 out of every 100 shillings of our tax revenue, and he has to keep increasing tax because of it. It is going to grind us to a halt this year. Why? Because we are paying debt that we should not be paying. We are paying debt that is illegal. We are paying debt that is odious to us. And let nobody fool you. We are not coming out of this as we continue that path. Kenya Kwanza is going to take us and is taking us to a route of bankruptcy. That pain will be felt in 2024. So I urge my fellow Kenyans to understand nothing short of a revolution is going to get us out of this. Nothing short of a revolution.
Sorry, nothing short of a revolution is what is bound to happen in 2024. Nakwambia round hii ni kugwang kudenja, ni kumoto tu sana. And I have my good friend SG Kamau joining me. And as well, you can join us for this conversation we are about to have hapa kwa show. To join us kupitia link ambao ninakutumia hapo chini. Hiyo link inaingia kupitia Mtembei TV, Afriq 24 TV, Leo TV, Afriq Facebook. Leo Facebook inaingia pia kwa wapi? Kwa True TV YouTube. Hizo links zinakupeleka, ukiguza moja inakupeleka kwa StreamYard. Ukifika StreamYard unaandika jina, unawasha mic, alafu una click enter, unajikuta uko kwa show. Karibu sana, wacha tuwe na nice conversation even as we go on. SG Kamau, happy new year to you my brother. Hope you're well.
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you, brother?
Niko salama. Happy new year to you, sir.
I'm very fine. Happy new year. Uliruka mwaka vizuri, eh?
Niliruka fine, thank you na nashukuru sana.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Tumeruka. We are grateful to God that He has given us the opportunity to see another year. We don't take it for granted. Unajua watu wengi wanafikirianga UDA tu ndio wanaomba Mungu. You know, there is that perception in Kenya that if you are not of the government, then you don't belong to God. They believe hao ndio watu ya Mungu. They have taken God custody. So we thank God kwa sababu Mungu ni wasi zote. Inanikumbushanga hadithi ingine ya Jero Githai. Sijui kama unajua Jero Githai.
Robinson ama?
Robinson Jero Githai.
Yeah,
was a very brilliant man.
Former Minister for Finance.
Yes. So there was a time he was Assistant Minister of Constitutional Affairs before the Constitution. And I remember one of the statements that really always lingers in my mind. Is that at that time kulikuwa na group ilikuwa inaitwa Katiba Watch. Na Katiba Watch walikuwa hawataki katiba iende kwa referendum, so they had taken the government to the courts because they were saying that the government is forcing the constitution into our throats. But one of the best answers that Gedai told the press is when he was asked, "Are you aware that Katiba Watch has taken you government to the court?" And I said, "Yes, I'm aware. We are aware of it as a government. In fact, we encourage them to go to court because that's why costs are there. Because when you go to court, even if you have an absurd claim of anything, then you're going to be directed on how to think so that you do not claim for things that cannot be claimed. In fact, he gave an example and said that you can go to court and say the moon belongs to you, and nobody else should see the moon, or the sun belongs to you and nobody else should enjoy the sun. And it is your right and it is your constitutional right. But now, when the judge comes, because judge looks at so many factors, he will look at the sun, you look at the people enjoying the sun all over the world, yeah, whether they are Muslims or they are Christians.
All right.
And at the end of the judgment, he will tell you the sun belongs to all of us. Go home and think, and stop being weird. So that judgment will have helped him to think and get out of his illusions. And therefore, to apply into a situation in Kenya, is that God belongs to all of us.
Fantastic.
It doesn't belong. God does not belong to UDA. He belongs to everybody, even the Muslims, even the Catholic, whoever is a human being is actually entitled of the blessings of the Lord. So kuvuka mwaka, brother, it is an amazing blessings of God. We thank God, and therefore we are grateful to see 2-2-2-4.
Okay, asante sana. Now hii mwaka imeanza at a very high note. Of course ilisha at a high, na imeanza na high already. Iko na different people fighting. Iko na Gachagua and Maina Jenga, iko na Raila and Ruto. Of course now tumeanza na Raila na Ruto. Now Raila says that Zakayo lazima ashuke. Hizi stories za tax zimekuwa kibao. Okay. Naye Ruto on his other side anasema we hawa jamaa wamesabotage my plans and program. The plan, how he called his manifesto, is under jeopardy because of the opposition side. Now, from where you sit, do you think it's time Zakayo ashuke? Because these taxes are a lot. In any case, hata wameongeza pesa za expressway. Expressway now is no longer 360, it will be 500 from today. So what do you make of all these levies, taxes, that are brewing every day, and it's like they're not minding mwananchi wa chini. They came with the promise ya mama mboga, they came with the promise ya msee hasla, msee wa chini, msee mdogo, right? This is the man who said aliuza kuku. But wale ambao waliachwa wakiuza kuku ndio hao wameangaishwa kabisa. Kama ulinunua kagari tu kadogo tu kakuingia nako town, sasa kama ulikuwa unatumia 360 unarudishiwa change kwa 400 ya 40 bob. Sasa sio change tu ya 40 bob, unaongezea 140, kwa hiyo 360 unalipa 500. What are you making of all these levies and charges being added left, right and center, and of course with the call of Raila Odinga to have him, of course, to tone down hizi mambo na tax?
Jake, I think you know my answer, because mi waambia watu, I don't expect anything to change. Watu wanatakanga Ruto wa change afanye nini? Badilishe maisha irudi pale ilikuwa. That will be against my prayers. Mi nataka aongeze bana. Mi hata nataka hiyo expressway iwe 1000. Mafuta iwe 1000. It is important for people to suffer. Because people say this, and I think it is important you note this even in your notebook. There is no glory without a story. We are making a story for this man. Hata wanamwambia ashuke, anashuka aende wapi? Let him become a public ridicule. Let him become a public shame. In fact, what I see on Twitter, what I see on TikTok, he is increasingly, and each and every day as we get closer to each and every year, as we continue to get into 2027, this guy is becoming a public shame. And he can only become a public shame because he got there on flimsy ways. There is no way you can tell me this guy won when 4 commissioners told us he didn't. Only 3 commissioners told us he did. So if the commissioners were divided, whether by money or by sentiment or by love, we don't care what happened until we know the truth. But anyway, he is in power. He has been vindicated by the courts. So what we are enjoying as a people of Azimio and the people of Kenya is a public ridicule and a public shame that he is going through. Aongeze kile anataka kufanya. Let him do whatever he feels like doing, even walking in naked. Who cares anyway? What we want to do as a country is just enjoy the story. Because really right now, hata change nini, really I don't think it will affect the people. Kuna watu wanafikiria, kuna watu wana mawazo kidogo, mostly ni Tugege na Wakale, because those are the main 2 groups that are fanatic about this guy. I'm a Kikuyu, but I can tell you I'm not a fanatic because I usually see through people. I see through people. I see through lies. I can tell you, my brother, and this is the reality on the ground. Yes? The reality on the ground, it is that this guy is out of favor with the people. He's out of favor with the people. Mimi sasa naona mapicha. Ukiangalia Twitter saa hii, whatever is happening, it is a gloomy pictures of his family. People, you wonder what it is. If really God, and I'm really cautious using these words because I love God. If really God ordained this government, why are they gloomy? Why are they struggling? Why don't they look? I mean, you can buy cars, but you cannot buy class, and that is what is happening in this government. They have no class. They have no glory. They have no demeanor. They have nothing, bro. So for me, I'll answer this. Waongeze expressway tafadhali, waongeze mafuta tafadhali, waongeze nyumba tafadhali. Sisi tulijua hii mambo itafanyika. Mimi sitaki apunguze, kwa sababu kupunguza ni kupata umaarufu. Na hii vita unaniambia ya jenga na nani na Gachagua, hiyo is expected because Gachagua is not a Kikuyu. Gachagua is a Kalenjin. Alizaliwa na is a Nandi. Hata yeye mwenyewe anasemanga damu yake ni ya Nandi. So he has a problem to fit in the Kikuyu land. So he is trying so much with his open teeth to come and fit in Kikuyu land. But we know he is not, he is just a half caste. So those are things that we know. So Maina Jenga is a native. By the way, I've never been a fan of Maina Jenga, to be frank. I'm a very honest person. But the way I hate this government, I'm loving Maina Jenga. Oh my goodness me. I'm becoming his follower.
Sawa, shikilia dakika moja. I'm coming to you just now. Bwana Clinton, happy new year. Good to see you, my friend, my brother. Hope you're well. Natumai uko mliko kuko kuzima na mmeruka mwaka, I'm sure. But Clinton, vipi? Rais wako ameambiwa ni wakati ashuke Mkuyu.
Nami pia ningependa kukuuliza, nani amemwambia ashuke? Anamwambia kama nani?
Baba Raila Odinga ameambia Ruto ashuke Mkuyu bwana.
Anamwambia ashuke, ni yeye alimpandisha. Si tuliweka hapo ngazi kila mtu apande, mwingine akachoka hapo katikati.
Ndio kwa maana nimemuita rais wako.
Rais anafanya kazi vizuri. Na mimi sioni shida lolote.
Vitu zipande kupanda.
Hakuna kitu inapanda, vitu vimepanda kila mahali. Kwa hivyo okay. Kwa hivyo mimi sioni shida bana. Vitu vimepanda kila mahali. na vitu vitakuwa vizuri hivi karibuni bana. Sijui tuna haraka ya nini. Sasa Ruto akishuka sasa hivi venye mnasema lights. Akishuka sasa hivi venye mnasema, kesho tutanunua mafuta kwa 80 kwa lita moja. So tuwe watulivu bana. Maisha ni ngumu kila mahali. Mimi niko na shida moja tu kwa rais wangu. Hii shida ya corruption. Hiyo akimaliza naweza sema hata atawale miaka 15. Kwa sababu ushuru anapata mingi sana. Lakini kuna venye wamepangana hapo, wanaiba kweli kweli. So kama anaweza kamalizana na mambo na corruption, mimi sioni shida akienda miaka 15, kwa sababu 10 ya kwanza aliishaahidiwa na alipewa. So akipunguza tu corruption kidogo hivi 15. Alafu Mount Kenya waache kututishia. Tuliwasapoti kwa miaka 10. Kibaki akatoka, huyu mwingine akatoka, miaka 20, kwanza si 10. Wakatuahidi miaka 10. Ndio hii tuko the 13th month kati kwa zile miaka 10 washaanza kutupigia kelele. Wanyamaze, tuendeshe serikali mpaka pale ambapo tutaona kama wako na mtu ameiva. Hiyo ni after 2032. Pengine turudishe mkono. Lakini hawafai kuanza kutupangia sasa hivi mara Zakayo ashuke. Ashuke wapi? Zakayo alinyamaza wakamaliza yao. Kwa hivyo watulie. Na wakiendelea na hivi vitisho na Raila na Musalia na Ruto waungane, watakuwa wapi? Alafu pia wanatukumbushaga venye Ruto hataki hao watu wa Mount Kenya. So 2027 Ruto aunde serikali na hawako ndani. Watasemaje? So bana, hao watu wanyamaze. Rais atapambana na corruption, alafu Kenya itasonga mbele. Super highway hata ikiongezwa bei, pengine kuna sababu bana. Mbona Uhuru alijenga super highway hakuacha tutumie bure? Sasa Ruto pia amekuja tu na cost yake. Pengine stima zenye zinatumiwa pale zina cost pesa mingi. Pengine kwanza walibomoa hao watu wazimia, walibomoa hiyo super highway. Kwanza hiyo super highway tungerekebisha kwa kwenda kudanzia wazungu watupe pesa. Si lazima tutafute pesa. Kwanza Murkomen alisema ni bilioni sijui milioni 700. So hiyo pesa tunatafuta turekebishe super highway. Alafu hii tabia ya kila siku wanatukumbusha mara Uhuru alikuwa hivi, Uhuru alikuwa hivi. Uhuru si president ba. Kila mtu na polisi zake. Tuzoeza Zakayo mpaka siku ambapo tutasema tosha. Lakini tabia mbaya tuache. Mara Ruto alisema juzi, let us love our country. Tuache kuwa negative. Imagine siku hizi tunatusiwa hadi na Watanzania wenye dola moja sijui ni 10,000 na ngapi. Alafu wanasema eti jirani sijui yako kuagiza, jirani hana dora gani? Yule mtu ni kama amerukwa na akili. Kwake exchange rate dola moja ni 4K. Na bado ana nguvu ya kutuongelelea. So we are on the right track. Acha tuvumilie za Zakayo.
Zakayo ndo anatuaibisha huku nje bwana.
Zakayo hatuaibishi bana. Jana alisema his plan is being sabotaged, sabo something. Sasa mimi nikuulize, hii housing units unaziona kwa TV venye zina meta. Alafu mtu bado anainua miguu kwenda kortini kuisimamisha. Huyo mtu si afie kuwe na ile panga tulipea Zakayo.
Hiyo panga.
Mtu kama huyo afanyiwe nini bana Jex? Let us give the president time. Amalize shughuli zake. Ako na mipango mizuri. Hata kama ni mtu wa ahadi. Utafanyaje kazi yenye hujaahidi mtu? Nikitaka kuja kwako nitakwambia Jex, kesho nakuja jioni. Sio ni ahadi, alafu nakuja. Wewe unataka Ruto apunguze bei ya sijui super highway. Na hiyo hakusema kwa manifesto. So kama hakuisema kwa manifesto eti atapunguza hiyo bei, either iongezwe ama ipunguzwe zaidi ama ibaki venye ilikuwa. Siku gani Zakayo alituahidi eti hatapandisha bei ya superhighway? Bwana, mwachane na rais. Ashughulikie mambo yetu. Lakini Mount Kenya wakianza hizi vitisho mara sijui ile group yao inaitwa aje? Ile group yao ya jana inaitwa Tsunami ama si Tsunami. Hii group ya tabia mbaya. Hiyo kitu kwanza itafanya Zakayo aingie Mlima Kenya na wanajeshi watapenda. Hatujasahau bana. Alafu mwisho Jakes. Tulipokuwa tukisoma zile enzi za 1993 tukiwa class 3, kulikuwanga na maswali kwa social studies. The headquarter of Nyanza ni Kisumu. The headquarter of Rift Valley ni Nakuru. Na Rift Valley ilikuwa ya Wakale. Lakini sasa hizi governor Nakuru Mount Kenya. Wabunge wengi. Hiyo issue nataka Zakayo angalie hapo kwa second term. Juu akianza kuangalia saa hii wataturuka. So hapo kwa second term ningependa jamaa angalie hiyo issue. Kama kuna ardhi ilipotea tupewe.
Tangangana sana kwa sababu huyu rais wako school fees itapanda. Huyu rais wako hata kununua gari itakuwa very expensive. Ameongeza hadi gharama ya kuendesha kwa hizo mabarabara. So ameongeza hata bei ya kuchukua ID. So hii 2024 huoni kama Zakayo atafanya mwananchi achoke na yeye?
Jakes, do you know in developed countries unapewa ID in contract. Unapewa ID kama passport. Ina expire in 10 years, you renew the ID. Hata kama hiyo nchi ni yako. Lakini hapa Kenya mnataka mpewe ID, serikali igharamia ID, uende utunze vizuri haizeeki. Unakufa unaacha hiyo ID. Bana, we have to renew the ID. Hapo napo niko na Zakayo. Kama passport mna renew na maelfu. Alafu ID hapa mnakuja eti Zakayo ashuke. Bana, tushuki Jakes. We have to pay for the ID bana. Those are the government services we are talking about. Mliruka eti amtaki hiyo pesa ya kurenew ID. Ndio hii tumeongeza superhighway ile ya wadosi. Hii serikali yetu ilikuwa against wadosi. Jakes, wewe uko na gari unaendesha kwa Thika superhighway ama inaitwa aje?
Expressway.
Kwanza mimi kuna siku nililipia sijui Uber kutoka JKIA eti nipitishwe hapo ndio iende haraka. Si nilimiss ndege yangu huko sijui Wilson. Jamaa pengine alipita na mimi hakupitia hapo juu na nililipia. Mtu kama huyo nikisikia bei imeongezwa si nafurahia. So tuachane na Zakayo.
Nakuja tu kwako. Lakini nakuja tu kwako. Shikilia tu hapo. Acha nirudi kwa mtu wa Azimio. Bwana SG, najua umesikiza jamaa anaitwa Clinton, a very good friend of mine. Maoni yako ni yapi?
Nimemsikiza, lakini unajua maini. Sijui kama unajua maini. You know what a liver is?
Liver, yes.
Can you put it in your hand?
Inakuwa very slimy.
Sliding. Yeah. What you are just saying is, I'm sorry to say this very respectfully, but I think he's just confused because I didn't get anything. I get mara sijui apigana ya corruption, mara akae 25 years, mara mtu Nakuru governor awe sijui mkale, you know, all those things. I mean, I even don't know what to address. It is for me for the last. Let me address three things because it is for in my level, at my level of debate. That one is it's waste of a lot of lakini praise, amemtukana, amefanya hivi. So at the end of the day, mimi nimesema for example the issue of Nakuru being a headquarter of Kalenjin. It is like saying Obama should not have been president because he was from Kogero. That is not progressive. That is retrogressive politics and very backward. Number two, this issue ya kusema sijui there's something else he said, like corruption, fighting corruption. That he should fight corruption. How can a corrupt president fight corruption? He is not going to fight that. He stole Western Hotel. We know that Western Hotel, it is sitting on a KA land of a public. How can you start by? I mean, how will we fight corruption? I mean, those are things that are not going there. But I don't want to dwell so much on what he spoke about because I don't think that it's going to help anybody in Kenya. But I think what we need to understand right now is our prayer. It is for him to fail. It is for him to fail because it is failure that brings innovation. Where we are in Kenya, it is where America and Europe were 200 years ago, where they could have kings and leaders who are lunatics. They could take them to battles, telling them kweni mapanga, try to pige whales, try to pige nini. That is where we are, but we are not doing exactly what Wazungu did, but we are doing it in our own version. Because Jakes, when you look at it this way, and I'm happy to say this because. And it is when you look at the leaders we have, for example, the top two leaders, what reflection do you see? Does it represent many of us in Kenya? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. We make those decisions because we are a growing and developing nation. And it is those failures that are going to help our next generation and next voters to be wiser. I don't know whether I'm getting myself clear. Or am I complicating things? I'm not complicating things. I'm trying to simplify issues. To say this, that the president and the deputy president are just examples of what we see around us. People who are your neighbors, and I'll give you example. When you hello.
Yes, Clinton.
Jex, unajua nini? Nimesikia pia rafiki yangu akisema eti Zakayo, si Zakayo. Huyu deputy wa Zakayo anaitwa nani? Huyu mwenye ako na akili tu ya Mount Kenya anaitwa nani huyu? Gachagua. Unajua anasema Gachagua ni mkale. Na wakati tulikuwa tunataka kupea Kindiki, walifanya maandamano huko Mount Kenya wakisema asipopea Gachagua wetu tunaenda kwa Raila. Si walitutishia hivyo tukapea huyo Gachagua wao.
Unajua point of order. Unajua when you want to interject, you do it with decorum, bro. I know you. I've been with you even in Sound Candid and of course the other followers by the way. But you can just say, I have this issue to raise. Can I address it so that you continue?
But
let me tell you, my brother. Just a point of order. This one is out of
huyu
order.
jamaa siku moja unipe huyu jamaa kwa dakika 5 tu. Next week atakuwa anasifia rais. Tutamweka box akwe Kenya kwanza ambassador.
Kwanza niambie hiyo maandamano ilikuwa wapi? Hiyo maandamano ya nani ya Gachagua ilikuwa wapi? Where was it? And which date are they? Because you promised... Staki tuingie hapa tu karibu hii show kwa non-factual things. Tell me before elections which were maybe mwezi wa 9, mwezi wa 8 wakati walikuwa wanachagua tarehe 19, Kiambu kulikuwa na maandamano, kukaenda maandamano Mathira, kukaenda maandamano Murang'a, Nairobi kwa sababu ya Gachagua. Give me that because I don't remember. Maybe I was not so keen. Maybe it saw it, but we would love hata kama tunaongea na kitu inaitangwa psychology and tuongea na kitu inaitangwa allegorism, those examples will be factual because mi sikumbuki kitu kama hiyo.
What he's saying, you remember it wasn't really like a protest. You remember ile time kulikuwa na meeting ya kuchagua the running mate wa
uko Karen.
What happened? They took too long, Bwana SG. They took too long. So it wasn't really kama a demo. So wase wakachukuliwa na video wase wakiwa Nyeri wakidai it must be what do you call this man? Gachagua. Alafu wase wa kina Kindiki kwa Tharaka pia walikuwa wameshikilia, so kila mtu alikuwa anatetea kwao. It wasn't really like how do I put it, like a protest per se. It was like people wamegather awaiting. You remember how many had gathered to hear what Raila would call as his running mate, whom he would call as his running mate. It was the same thing in Nyeri, but of course it wasn't that pronounced. Maybe that's why maybe SG you missed it, but it wasn't a protest. Ni watu wali demand, lazima awe Gachagua, otherwise.
Yeah, then let us not mix issues. Let us not mix issues. Let us say it was an opinion of some people. It could not change anything. Let me tell you, whether the Kindiki people say this or the Mandela people say this, I don't remember such a protest anyway. So it is not a protest. Let us remove those big words in these small things. Let us say it was opinion of the people that our man should be the deputy president. If that is not the case, we go the other way. It's an opinion.
I would like to interject.
Clinton, dakika tu moja kidogo kama yes, what are you saying kama kidogo tu.
So for me, I would rather we just focus on issues that affect Kenyans. And tusikuwe na a lot of propaganda, because hiyo ndio imetuleta mahali tuko. And that is why you see the president is so scared of Uhuru. In fact, I usually say, and this is being vindicated, the biggest opponent of this regime is not even Raila Odinga. To me, I think the biggest problem is Uhuru, because of his money. Yeah, it doesn't matter how he got it, and his age. You understand? So he's more of a troublemaker than Raila Odinga, because the government is bound to fail in any case. It doesn't matter who is in power. Even in the US, even the government that do a lot of work, they are so unpopular with the people. It is a normal issue, because it is easy to have a government. It is make a government a punching bag. Si unajua hiyo ni kitu ambayo ni easy. Hata sisi tuko nini tunaipiga kwa sababu ndio wako hapo. Tunaipinga kwa sababu ndio wako hapo, na ndio sababu tunasema kama ule mhubiri alisema, tuombee hii serikali ianguke economically, politically, na ikuambiwa ati hatupendi nchi yetu kwa sababu tunaombea hivyo. It is not true. We love our country. What we hate, it is this regime. We really hate this regime. That is the difference. So if we had a good mature regime, it could have been easier. So sitaki kukaa sana, because sometimes it is not easy to talk about this country. This country is a case study. In fact, I would like anybody who is doing a thesis anywhere in the world to take Kenya as a case study. Atapeo PhD very fast. Why? Because these are real things happening in a real country, where everything has a price tag, where nothing makes sense, where when you are a Kenyan, you have bills, you are dealing with I mean you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Yes.
Now Bwana Clinton, Bwana SG anasema ya kwamba kama kuna mtu rais wako anaogopa sana, jamaa aliyekuwa rais wa kitambo ama wa zamani, Bwana Uhuru. Wewe unaona kama huu prezo wako anaogopa Uhuru?
Huyo Uhuru kuna siku alisema kwamba jamii mbili wameongoza Kenya since independence. Huyo mwenye anamuogopa alimwambia I am a man on a mission. No retreat, no surrender. Kama kumuogopa ni kumwambia hivyo akiwa na panga, then ni kweli Ruto anamuogopa. So jamaa, niliongelea mambo na fighting corruption mkanichekelea. Enyewe for now inaweza waonekania kwamba ni ngumu. Lakini nina imani President Bill atatimiza. Kwa sababu tuna imani Mungu atatujalia na tutafight corruption. Mimi shida yangu moja pia na serikali yangu ni hii kitu inaitwa aje kwa Kiswahili? Yaani anapendelea sana watu wao. Kwa mfano, Mtu akitolewa tu hivi kwa parastatal ni Kiprotich anaikwa pale. Hadi wakitoa Mkikuyu, na unajua wako na coalition na Wakikuyu, bado anaweka tu Mkale pale. Alafu mambo na stima, kuna some things hazitoki Ukraine kama stima. Assume fuel na kila kitu inatoka Ukraine hadi sukari, lakini stima inatengezwa Kenya. So hizi akatuambia kwamba kwa sababu kuna war in Ukraine ndio maana stima imepanda, kwa sababu wapo kwa stima pia kuanzia kwa sijui director wa Kengen, director wa sijui hizo vitu zinadili na stima zote ni Wakale. Niko sure hata wakiwa kwa Zoom meeting hakuna haja ya maybe national anthem tu ndio kwa Kiingereza ama Kiswahili. Hizo zingine ni ya Mune zote. Wakidiscuss mambo na stima Kenya. So hapo pia ningependelea sana hata kama shaeka kila mtu Mkale pale apunguze bei ya stima, aidha irudishe penye aliipata ama irudishe chini zaidi. Shida yangu ya pili ni pale kwa education sector. Kuna kitu kiongozi wa upinzani baba alisema mambo na contract ya kunini exam. Walinyang'anya wale wazungu, pengine wakapea Belio Kipsang hiyo contract. Hao watu wamekalia Machogu bwana, mpaka Machogu akipewa microphone na address wananchi anahema. Ndio ata make mistake, pengine atasahau line moja yenye aliambiwa aseme. So pale pia kuna state capture hapo kwa education sector. Alafu kitu kiliniuma most, nilikuwa na watch parliamentarians wakioji huyo Belio Kipsang. Akasema the KCP results zenye zilikuwa na shida wa provisional results. Mimi hii kizungu provisional nilisikia ya kwanza kwa Isaac Hassan IEBC chairman kwamba results za kura ni provisional, watu wasianze kusherekea. Kumbe zile za KCP unatumiwa kwa simu pia zinaweza kuwa provisional, ndio siku ingine upate real results jamani. So hiyo iliniuma sana. Na mpaka sasa hii hakuna mwanafunzi ameniambia ile 160 nilipata ilikuwa provisional, ndio hii 360 ingine imekuja ndio sasa real result. So yule alinionyesha tu meno pale kwa TV akaniambia those were provisional results. Akaachia hapo. Juzi nikaona meno yake tena akisema that we won't be able to finance, I don't know, 1 million students. Hii pesa imeenda wapi? Atuli atoke kwa serikali aanze kushika microphone amwambie pesa si ya mama yake. Kwa sababu bana tunaumia. Kwa sekta zingine kama hizo sekta ambazo zinamgusa mwananchi directly. Amezishika kabisa hivi. Alafu tuko na deputy president mwenye hana network. Unajua Ruto alikuwa mjanja. Ndio maana hata ilibidi Uhuru amweke kando. Lakini huyu mwingine bwana unasikia tu mimi Ruto amenipea mandege. Akanipea na sijui kila kitu yenye hakupewa kwa ile serikali. Kwa hivyo sisi hatuna shida. Lakini huku kwa sharing table bwana jamaa yuko hajui chochote. Amewekwa Minister of Agriculture lakini mwenye adil na miwa, anadil tu na tobacco, sijui na kafi. Hiyo tu ndio kazi yake. Na pia kukitokea jambo Raila anataka kukemewa, anapigiwa simu siku eti kesho umkemee. Hiyo ndio kazi yake. Ana network. Wajua angekuwa na network, wakati kina Ruto wanatuibia pale kwa stima, angeuliza swali. Mimi hata mkichukua hii bilioni 60 jameni. Pale Mount Kenya, pale Nyeri nataka hii shule ipewe stima. Wajua wezi ukiwa interrupt, hawataiba sana, watasema yenyewe, then tupewe wananchi kidogo. Lakini network yake haiko. Yeye ni mandege tu amepewa. Kwanza akipewa ile ya brown ya jeshi, hiyo siku analala na soka. Ndio anajiona rais. So jamaa bana, yeye pia ni mtu wetu. Mimi nilikuwa nafikiria ikifika dhizia pengine Azimio watakuwa wamemnunua, aanze kuongea hizo kweli zake. Eti kuna cost of living, kuna nini. But sioni hopes. So bana hao watu waache sectors muhimu kama education, kama hiyo ya stima, waache nini? Waache state capture kwa hizo sectors. Those are sectors that should run independently. Alafu sector ingine ana target na anaiwin ni ya NHIF. Atundi alituambia last election eti aliingia NHIF akaiba kila kitu. Lakini sasa hizi ametoa watu kwa NHIF amewaweka sijui kwa SWOT. Bwana hizo pesa zitagulwa. Zitagulwa gweli.
Okay. Now, what do you think is happening between Maina Njenga and Gachagua?
Sasa Mount Kenya hakuna leader na Maina Njenga haizi akakaa tu eti yeye haizi pigania hiyo leadership. Si kila mtu ameogopa. Na Gachagua pia hana akili ya kupigania. So lazima ajiweke mbele. So yeye ana take to advantage. Ruto akishindwa na kazi, Maina atatengeza chama, aambie Wakikuyu tuwe na chama chetu. Na atapata watu. Wakati Ruto atakuwa amefungia Gachagua, wewe ni UDA. Huwezi tengeza chama. So those are situations that
Kalonzo Musyoka amesema hii mwaka atakuwa very busy, atafanya kazi ya kutafuta kura na kujijenga kisiasa. Of course amesema haiwezekani yeye kumsupport Raila Odinga tena. Wewe unaona vipi? Huyu jamaa ametosha mboga sasa kwa rais?
Kalonzo hata akiungwa mkono na Raila, kura ni zile zile. Kwa sababu ni opposite tu. Mwenye alikuwa chini ameletwa juu, mwenye alikuwa juu ameenda chini. Bado ni wale tu, bado Ruto atawashinda. Kwanza akienda peke yake sasa ndio ngumu. But Raila ni kama atakuwa kwa debe. So Kalonzo atakuwa number 2 bado. Cause anajua hizi pata.
So wewe kama Raila Odinga anaweza support Kalonzo?
Sioni. Maybe after 2022. Juu 2027 itapata kaa baba bado ako na nguvu. Risasi ya mwisho ile ya mwisho kabisa.
Miaka yote ameishi kuwa support, amesimama na baba kidete, lakini wakati wake ndio mnamruka. Huoni kama it's being unfair?
Tulimwahidi eti tutamsupport baba akipata. Wewe uko Kenya, baba alipata nini?
Acha tuseme hakupata, lakini hiyo imaanisha asimrudishie mkono bwana.
Sasa mkono unarudisha ukishamaliza kunini kitu ulipewa. Sasa nikikwambia nitakulipa ile deni nikipata. Nikipata nini? Salary sijapata. Unataka nikulipe nini? Either unisaidie kupambana nipate hii salary ndio nikulipe. Ama we pia uende utafute kazi ujitafutie.
Okay.
Kwanza baba hajarudisha mkono kwa Ruto. So wote watakuwa watoto wake wanadai deni.
Na Luo Nyanza mumepanga nani bwana? Because nikana kwamba Raila Odinga kiretire, kama mtaki Kalonzo mtataka nani basi? Ama kama si Luo Nyanza, Luo ikiwa nzima tukieka hadi Kisiland, tutoke Kisiland tuende maybe hata Coast, mnataka nani? Because nikana kwamba mmeamua it's either Raila or no one else, ama mmeamuaje?
Sasa sijui mbona ukiongelea Nyanza unataja wa Kisii na hao wengine. Nyanza inakuanga Wajaluo. Hao tribes zingine sasa uwataji but wako ndani. But ukisema natoka Nyanza, obviously wewe ni Mjaluo. So mtu akikuquestion ndio una verify mimi natoka Nyanza but mimi ni Mkisii. But ukisema Nyanza unatumaanisha sisi. So sisi mambo na baba tumeshindwa. Tulijaribu na Kidero kumngoa tukashindwa. Juzi tulikuwa tunapigana eti South Nyanza, na maanisha Homa Bay na Migori na Kuria, tupate yule care of the Luo community. Akabeba akapeleka Siaya. Sasa hii kingpinship si pia atapeana watu wa Siaya. So sisi tunangojea peani huko.
Hiyo care inamaanisha nini?
As in the Kirdi is the president, so ni mzee wa, but I don't know kwa Kiswahili. Mzee wa Jaluo, the elder. So pia hiyo kiti kidogo pia yeye pia ni keru huko kwa Wajaluo. Hii kiti kidogo pia ametunyang'anya sisi kama watu wa Homa Bay, amepeleka kwao. Sasa kingpinship ndiye atatupea.
Sasa
So
Homa Bay nani anaweza pewa?
Sisi tuko saidi mbaya kabisa hapo Homa Bay,
Kama nani ako Homa Bay? Gladys Wanga ama nani?
Gladys Wanga ni mtu wa Kisumu. Huyo akipewa tunaenda maandamano. Kwa sababu si mtu wa Homa Bay.
Lakini simlimpea governor na mkwenda maandamano.
Ni mistake yenye tutarudia in 2027.
Mnataka nani, Mbadi ama nani?
Mbadi si Mjaluo.
Bwana nyinyi mna watu wenyu kweli, because
Bwana Mbadi ni mtu wa Suba. Watu wa Suba wako hadi na Biblia yao. Imeandikwa kwa lugha yao. Sasa mbona tujipendekeze kwao? Homa Bay tuko na daktari mheshimiwa Evans Kidero. Kidero akisema nimechoka, tunateremka huko Migori, kuna mheshimiwa gavana mpendwa Zakayo. After tumetoka huko kwa Zakayo, tunaweza rudi tuko na watu bwana South Nyanza. Lakini kwanza tunataka tupambane ile position ya care of the Luo community irudi Homa Bay, kwa sababu baba ni care mkubwa yetu sasa. Raila ni care mkubwa. Sasa huyu mwenye anakaa kama deputy wake lazima atoke South Nyanza. Na the headquarter of South Nyanza ni Homa Bay County. So tunataka hiyo position irudi. La sivyo 2027 tuko nyuma ya Zakayo to the man.
Sasa Raila Odinga amesema watu watokee maandamano. Amesema hii gharama ya maisha lazima tuishushe, na ndio maana anasema Zakayo ashuke. Anashukishwa na of course watu kuandamana, watu kujitokeza, watu kuonyesha hamaki zao kwa sababu ya jinsi gharama ya maisha imekuwa. Sasa Raila Odinga akiitana, of course unasema kwa sasa wewe haumsupport, lakini if now this was to happen, auoni kama itazidi kumfanya Zakayo ashindwe kufanya kazi? Already anasema ameshindwa kufanya kazi. He's crying out sabotage. Will fresh demonstration, will it not shake his economy even if it's not that good?
Mimi wakati baba alisema kuna strategy mpya ya kuisukuma serikali ya daktari, nilifikiria kwamba pengine atanyamaza kimya, waendelee kufanya blanda, ndiye atokelezee huko 2026 2025 aanze kututajia hizo blanda, tunaona ni ukweli. Lakini saa hizi Zakayo kama ni ukweli ameshindwa kazi, my friend, atasema nitafanyaje kazi na wamefunga Nairobi? Na hapo Zakayo atakuwa anatumia hizo maandamano days kuiba pesa zetu. Na yenyewe atarudi 2027 atuambie wamefanya maandamano miaka 4. Ningedu. Na tutamhurumia tuseme yenyewe walikuwa wanafanya maandamano, hakuna business ilikuwa inaendelea. So kama hiyo ndio ilikuwa mbinu mpya ya kufanya maandamano, then baba amekosea. Na baba si atapelekwa coast kwa hoteli wafungiwe na Ruto atoke aseme sijui alikuwa na homa fulani ndio maana hajaenda, kidogo maandamano kuisha. Ama hajalipwa installment yake ya Januari. Akipewa installment watu watatoka street.
Okay. So you're probably wondering what we are discussing. Let me show you. This is what Raila Odinga said the other day. Oh no, today actually. He was in Kakamega, kulikuwa na mechi ya mpira, and these were his words, and this is what we are discussing.
Tunataka kuona mwaka huu 2024 ikiwa mzuri kuliko ile ya 2023. Tunataka ushuru ishuke. Gharama ya maisha irudi chini. Zakayo awache kutoza watu ushuru. Zakayo ashuke. Aje hapa chini pamoja na sisi.
Kuna time walikuwa wa March, that was last year 20th of March, walikuwa waende State House. Hii mara wanataka kuandamana kwa sababu ya ushuru na wanasema lazima ishuke. Last time they didn't succeed kuingia State House. Mara hii unaona kama kutakuwa na uwezekano wa kumtisha Zakayo mpaka ashushe tax.
Zakayo alipandishaje tax? Alitumia bunge. Zakayo alitumia bunge kupandisha tax. Sasa sijui Zakayo ataitisha press conference kushukisha tax yenye imekuwa low. So hao watu ni kama wameamua tu kudisrupt Zakayo. But they know the procedure. Mimi kitu wanaomba, nataka wabunge tu wamgeukie Zakayo wamwambie boss. Venye nasikia wabunge wa UDA walimwambia mambo na price of fuel. Wamwambie bana, hii housing levy ndio inaleta shida, tunaipunguza from 3 to 1.5. Ama ile ya employee tunatoa uchukue tu kazi. Mpaka wabunge wake wamwambie tunaenda kusaini hii kitu, Ishungu aleta mwisho. Ishungu akileta nyenyenye, wamtishie wati wanamngoa. So wabunge wanaweza mlainisha Zakayo, lakini maandamano sioni. Alafu kitu zaidi anaambia wabunge you don't have to be popular now. You have to be popular when it matters. So watapunguza vitu in 2027, hiyo time ndio itakuwa ina matter. Bana, lakini sitachoka kumuunga mkono. Juu sioni option. But sometimes wanaishiwa nguvu. But tutazidi kusonga mbele.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's simmering kidogo tu ya kwamba this year itakuwa very interesting. Imeanza tu na ndio inaanza hivi. Sikiza.
Ni Damian Evans. Tuanze na taarifa kuu usiku huu ambapo mkwaruzano mpya kati ya Rais William Ruto na kiongozi wa upinzani Raila Odinga unaanza kunukia baada ya Rais William Ruto kukashifu upinzani kwa kupanga njama ya kuhujumu mikakati ya serikali yake. Akizungumza katika ikulu ndogo ya Nakuru, Rais Ruto alikosoa upinzani kwa kukosa kutoa maoni tofauti ya kusaidia kuimarisha hali ya uchumi. Matamshi ya Ruto yanajiri siku moja tu baada ya Odinga kudokeza kwamba maandamano ya kupinga gharama ya juu ya maisha yatakuwa yanarejea tena mwaka huu. Emmanuel To na taarifa hiyo.
Wa Kenya ukiukaribisha mwaka mpya kwa shamra na miondoko ya aina yake. Mkanyagano kati ya Rais William Ruto na kiongozi wa Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Raila Odinga unaonekana kuibuka tena. Akizungumza katika ikulu ndogo ya Nakuru Jumapili usiku, Rais William Ruto alishambulia upinzani kwa madai kwamba unahujumu utendakazi wake.
There is something fundamentally wrong with opposition without any viable alternative, whose only purpose is division, conflict and anarchy.
Ruto akidai kwamba upinzani ulikuwa umemwekea vizuizi ndani na nje ya mahakama kwenye njia yake ya kuendeleza taifa.
A number of our policies, programs and other strategic interventions aimed at delivering necessary and urgent interventions of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda have been delayed, obstructed and hampered by various challenges, including persistent litigation.
Semi za Rais Ruto zinajiri siku moja tu baada ya Raila kuwatangazia wafuasi wake mpango mpya wa kurejea kwenye maandamano kulazimisha serikali ya Kenya Kwanza kupunguza gharama ya juu ya maisha.
Tunasema mwaka mpya hii sheria ya kodi mpaka itolewe. Ile finance bill mpaka itolewe. Usipotoa hiyo finance bill tutarudi kwenye uwanja. Tutamwambia Wakenya rudi uwanjani.
Odinga amechukua mapumziko ya kisiasa kwa miezi kadhaa sasa baada ya maandamano yaliyoathiri shughuli kote nchini mwaka uliopita.
Lakini sisi wenyewe tulisema gharama maisha ilikuwa ni juu, tukaambia serikali wasiongeze ushuru, wakazidi kuongeza ushuru, na hiyo ndio imeleta hasara kubwa kwa Wakenya.
Matamshi ya upinzani yanajiri huku serikali ya Kenya Kwanza ikiwahakikishia Wakenya kuwa maisha yataboreka hata zaidi mwaka huu.
Na mimi nataka kumhakikishia hizi shida zilikuweko ni shida kidogo. Huu mwaka wa 2024 tukiangalia tunaona mwangaza na mbele iko sawa.
Malumbano hayo yanatarajiwa kuathiri mjadala wa ripoti ya mazungumzo ya maridhiano inayotarajiwa mwezi Februari bunge litakaporejea kutoka kwa likizo. Emmanuel To, KTN News, Nairobi.
All right. Now, it's an interesting year because Raila Odinga says that the cost of living has really been a challenge. The cost of living has really been a bother to many Kenyans. And he is calling upon many to come out in the numbers to support his call for demonstration. Of course, against the government, all right, for raising those taxes. Na ndio hapo amekuja na huo msemo ya kwamba Zakayo lazima ashuke. We know him to be the man who coined the phrase Zakayo, which has gone to be viral. Imeenda kuwa viral. It even featured in the BBC News. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is bound to happen. Somehow, the government itakuwa na challenge kidogo. And many are asking us and are asking themselves this question: how will we do it? We tried last year, nothing much really happened. Tukaenda kwa bipartisan talk. Kwa bipartisan talk, one of the reasons one of the irreducible minimum was the cost of living. Unfortunately, Ishongo and team wakamwambia, you know what, hiyo hatuwezi negotiate. So that was a matter that was never canvassed. That was a matter that was not deliberated upon. They listed the things they agreed on. They listed the things that walisema hii iko sawa na hii haiko sawa. Two things were left out, and they said these two things will be discussed and agreed between Raila Odinga and the president. And the report was released. Now, unfortunately, it seems ni kana kwamba Raila Odinga and Zakayo, if that's what he's calling him, but the president haven't agreed, because these are the factors that they were to agree upon. So they didn't agree about it. So his story now inarudishwa kwetu, na inarudishwa kwetu in form of protest. Yesterday or the day before, we talked about organizations or leaders or chairmen of different institutions and different organizations who are protesting, especially the housing levy. The housing levy ndio imekuwa kizungu mkuti. All right, many are protesting it. Many are saying we don't want it. But of course, pia kuna wale wanasema this is something we want. Kuna wale wanasema this is something that we truly need. All right, so it's an interesting conversation that will be simmering hii mwaka mzima. So it is an year ambayo you must really be on the lookout, kwa sababu vitu kibao zitakuwa zina happen. Now let me take you back to this story. Jana president alitoa speech, na kwa speech yake akasema vile mama mboga wanafaidika na huu mpango wa housing, huu mpango wa kujenga manyumba and all. But there's one man in Bomet. This man is a very angry man, and in fact he's even calling many to really protest because of that speech alone. I'll be playing that speech in length of what the president said yesterday, but let's listen in to this man from Baringo, and this is what he had to say.
Mimi ni mkaaji wa Bomet County, sehemu za Konoin, Poto location. Mimi mwenyewe ni kukaa ya kwamba sisi kama wananchi wa Bomet, vile rais aliongea jana, aliongea kwa njia ile mimi nilistuka sana. Kwa wakati alipokuwa akitaja watu wa mama mboga, watu wa bodaboda na watu wengine. Mimi ninavyojua ni kwamba serikali iliyoko sasa ya Kenya Kwanza ni kitu cha maajabu. Kitu kile niliona sana ni wakati alikuwa akiongea katika ikulu ya rais. Wale wote walikuwa wakipiga makofi ni wale ministers. Ya mwisho, mimi kama kiongozi katika area hii, wananchi wengi hawakuenda Christmas kwa sababu hawana pesa. Kile kitu ambacho ninahimiza serikali ni kwamba ukilinganisha serikali ya Uhuru Kenyatta na serikali ya Ruto. Serikali ya Ruto ni kupiga mdomo tu, kupiga mdomo tu. Ni kama mtu ambaye anakamua ng'ombe, alafu naweka kichungi maziwa ile imetobolewa chini. Sasa hiyo maziwa haichai. Kwa hivyo ningependa niambie ya kwamba Raila angekuwa president wa Kenya, Wakenya wangekaa vizuri na wananchi wenyewe. Sasa hasa watu wangu wa Kalenjin, ninawahimiza kabisa wawaje maneno ya ukabila na wachunge Kenya. Sasa kufunguliwa kwa shule sasa Kenya, sasa wananchi wa Kenya watakuwa na tabu kubwa sana, hasa mashule hizi sa watu ambao watoto wanaenda shule na kurudi. Uhuru alikuwa ameweka elimu iwe free. Sasa Ruto alisema elimu itakuwa free. Sasa shule ikifunguliwa, ile kitu ninawajua wananchi wa Kenya saa hii wanalia kidete, hasa wale walikuwa naunga mkono Kenya Kwanza. Ole wao.
Asa wale waliunga Kenya Kwanza, ole wao. The things he's raising interesting. Now, this is a man from Bomet. I played that clip because I heard so many interesting things that he said. One, he said that, of course, he was taking fault with the speech from the president of what he said concerning Wamamboga, that they'll be paying around 4,000 to get a house, and how he has tried to create the Hustler Fund and every other thing that he said. But he felt that truly that speech left out the germane issues affecting mwananchi wa kule chini, mwananchi ule mdogo, you know, Mama Mboga, the guy ule ambaye aliitwa jamaa wa boda boda, walikuwa left out by this regime, that they used these guys to campaign. They used them with the fact that hii serikali itakuwa yao. Unfortunately, it didn't become theirs. So this guy is saying, you know what, we are feeling so sad that akicompare presidency ya Kibaki ya Uhuru na ya Ruto, hafeel kana kwamba huyu jamaa anawazingatia. He is a man from Bomet, and he's saying probably Raila would have been the better option. I'm not sure, that's what he's saying. Probably Raila would have been a better option. But these are the guys ambao walisema ni time ya William Ruto. All right. But now he's saying probably Raila would have been better. I don't know what you feel and what you think. Okay. But when Raila calls for maandamano, I'm not sure some of these guys wanatokea kwa maandamano. When Raila Odinga will be asking many to protest, many may fail to. Okay. So this guy is saying that Raila Odinga might have been the best option. Unfortunately, that is something that we will never know. Okay. That is something we might never truly know. So he is blaming William Ruto for many failures. He's blaming William Ruto for many disadvantages that are affecting our country, or rather many myriad of challenges affecting our country. So he's blaming the president. While he's blaming the president, there is one man who is under siege. That man is Maina Jenga. Maina Jenga, together with Gachagua, are having a funny contestation. Na history yote ni kwa sababu they feel we lack a Mount Kenya kingpin, or a Mount Kenya voice is missing. Someone who really has the charisma, you know, the drive to unite the region and to marshal it to either make the next presidency or bargain for something in any government. So Gachagua and Maina Jenga are in this tussle. One anatumia mwingine kusema this person anainua Mungeke. This other person says I am not even in Mungeke. What do you believe? Now, kulikuwa na polisi wengi sana jana maeneo ya Nyeri. They were doing spot check everything. Ungepita na gari walikuwa na pora everywhere. You know, the police was so many, armed to the teeth. Wakutaka any form of gathering yesterday. And so Maina Jenga hakutokea. And many said anajificha. So the guy didn't hide, or rather he came out to disabuse the notion that many were saying amejificha. And on a presser, this is what he had to say.
To speak about the situation in Nyeri, on how innocent Kikuyu youth have been harassed and subsequently arrested by the state. It bothers me that a Kikuyu leader is using state machinery to criminalize the same people who supported him during the 2022 general election. By labeling our innocent youth as members of Mungiki, Mr. Rigathi is not only setting up against the notorious police brutality, but he is also setting up the entire community to extinction. When did the jobless, the hopeless, and the disgruntled hustlers became Mungiki? Kweli asanti ya punda ni mateke. Let the regime of the day stop and desist from criminalizing innocent Kikuyu youth and embark on addressing the underlying problems of the skyrocketing cost of living. The arrested youth are just victims of circumstances. They are victims of unfulfilled and broken promises by the KK administration. They are hustlers who have been entangled by the high cost of living. Reduce the cost of living. Stop criminalizing Kikuyu youth. Do the honorable thing to reduce the cost of living. On the alleged meeting that was alleged to take place at Nyeri Kabiroini Stadium, we categorically state that there was no such a meeting that had been called or scheduled to take place, as no notice had been issued to the effect either to the members of the public or to the police. The innocent youth who have been arrested are just going about their usual businesses in preparation for their New Year celebration. We urge the police or those who have arrested the innocent youth to release them immediately. We also remind the state that every Kenyan has a guaranteed freedom of association and the inalienable rights to the liberty, and that must be respected at all times. And if the government of the day has suspended these rights and the fundamental freedoms, the citizen should be informed. Finally, if the arrested youth will not be released on bail, bound by the police pending their arraignment in court, we urge the state to observe the 24-hour rule.
Now that's my Najenga. That's my Najenga. He has raised so many concerns in his speech. Number one, he's saying that there was no planned meeting. There was no planned meeting. He's equally calling for the release of the arrested young men in Nyeri. Yesterday we saw a number of young men arrested. Over 200 of them were arrested yesterday. Those who were feared to be part of those who were planning to attend the meeting. All right. Now, my Najenga is saying that meeting was never there. No notice was issued. No one prepared for it. So it's not something that anyone ought to be arrested for. Okay, so I'm sure tomorrow, being now a weekday that is now not a public holiday, I'm sure they'll be arraigned in court. We will keep you in tabs with what will be on their charge sheet and what they will be accused of tomorrow. Okay? Aha. But while he was saying so, do you remember Ndura Waroingi? Ndura Waroingi was the former chairman of Mungiki as well. And he and others came out to tell Maina Jenga, you know what? Please stop what you're doing. Maina Jenga said he's no longer the chairman of Mungeke, but Ndura Waroingi, who is a convicted felon, he was released, I think, the other day. Now a bishop or a pastor there of a church. He said he warned Maina Jenga. He is calling him not to participate in those rallies, not to mobilize youth to participate in Mongeke. So let's listen in to what Ndura Waroinge had to say.
Mungiki Ndura Waringi na binamuye aliyekuwa pia kiongozi wa Mungiki Maina Njenga amemuonya Maina Njenga kuwa watulize joto lililoibuka eneo la Mlima Kenya kuhusu swala la Mungiki. Ndura Waringi ambaye sasa ni mhubiri wa kanisa la The Synagogue ameyasema hayo walipokuwa katika sherehe za kukaribisha mwaka mpya na kuomba Wakenya kuonyesha upendo kwa taifa na kuwakosea walio mamlakani kwa upendo. Jana mamia ya vijana walikuwa wamepanga mkutano mkubwa kaunti ya Nyeri, mkutano ambao ulitibuliwa na maafisa wa polisi baada ya kusemekana kuwa ulikuwa umepigwa marufuku. Kutokana na hali hiyo, vijana zaidi ya 250 walikamatwa na kuhusishwa na kundi hilo haramu la Mungiki.
Maina Jenga. Maina Jenga is my cousin, is my former colleague in Mungiki, but I want just to ask him, tone down. Our Kenya needs everybody. We need all of us, we need each other. We will not fight. Don't kill. Don't ever do something that might cause chaos to be in this country. This is a country that cannot afford to slip backward or to just fall into the traps of the devil. Wale ambao mnaizungumzia Kenya kwa ubaya, nawauliza tu, hii ni nchi yetu. Nchi ambao sisi wote, we are children of it. We must not speak against bad things about Kenya, ill things about Kenya. Whether you like the president or not, we belong to Kenya. He also belongs to Kenya, and we are all children of Kenya.
All right. Now, that is Ndura Waroingi, the former chairman, is saying that Maina Jenga hata ni kazini yake. So he's asking him not to do, not to revive that sect. That's one sect that was highly condemned by many. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before even I wrap up, I want to play you what is trending on TikTok. Now, on TikTok, there is, on Twitter. On Twitter, there's something trending. And I want to bring it in and show you what is happening in Uganda. Now, the president of Uganda said something very funny. I want you to listen in, and of course, we'll be back to continue with this conversation that we're having. So I'm just taking a break, but before I do take the break, let me give you what is trending on TikTok and what's funny on TikTok. Listening to this from one
If I kissed my wife in public, I will lose all the elections in Uganda. Because Africans don't show what is private, they don't show it in public. If you want to kiss, you know the address of kissing, where it is.
Bwana SG, that is trending hapo kwa Twitter, that the president anasema hawezi kiss bibi yake in public. If he dares do that, atapoteza elections kule UG. The question is, Uganda wamaikuwa na elections? The jury is out there. But SG, wacha tuendelee na mazungumzo kidogo hata before tumalize show. I've played a lot, and there's something you said about Maina Jenga. You said you don't like him, but the hate you have for William Ruto and his regime makes you feel something for him. But let's talk about him kidogo. Why is he a man on target? SG?
What do you mean the man on target?
Because I don't know if you saw the amount of police yesterday waliotumika. You know, this is a man who has been arrested severally. This is a man who the amount of police yenye huwa wanampeleka kotini hata tuwezi ongeza. The number, not the amount. The number of guys ambao wanampeleka kotini. The number of guys ambao wanaenda kumshika. This is a guy, mbona anasumbua kina Gachagua hivyo?
Gachagua, you know, they are forcing issues. Unlike Gachagua, Jenga has built his following. Whether you call it Mungiki, whether you call it church, he has built it for several years now. So there are those people who believe in him, kabisa. and they feel defranchised, and that is what Maina Jenga takes advantage of, because in Kenya today, and that's why you see maandamano in Kenya zinakuanga very very successful, because many young people are idle, they have no opportunity. So anybody preaching hope and opportunity, they grab it. So Gachagua has no story that can be mentioned about the struggles of people of Mount Kenya. Hakuna mahali tunaona Gachagua. We are trying to trace him back beyond his 5-year term of an MP. We can't find anything. We are trying to get anything. Nothing. There is no school. There is no hakuna. But the Maina Jenga struggle has always been there since the days of Moi. Walikuwa na wachora wa Rohingya, they brought the young people together. It's only that the model they were using was not the best model. They could tell young people, recruit yourself, get this lipa hii pesa, get into the chama, now start charging people security and so forth and so forth. What I know today is that they are not doing that. And if they are doing, maybe they are doing on a very high secrecy. But what is disturbing Gachagua is because he cannot control the Kikuyus beyond the Madera constituency. That is the problem. The Kikuyus can actually today, I can tell you the most influential person in Kikuyu land is still Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Anybody else thinking that he can speak on behalf of the Kikuyu is deluded. And that is why you see there is a lot of problem, because every time this deputy president spends a lot of time in Nyeri. Yeah. Nyeri anaenda Nyandarua kidogo anarudi Nyeri. So he's not a person who we can say he is a leader of anybody. He's a wannabe. So the reason why Maina Jenga should get they are thinking of getting rid of him, whatever the way, is because of that big group that he is influencing, which is showing as if, by the way, he is more popular than Gachagua in Mount Kenya right now. He has a bigger following than Gachagua. So that is a position, and that's the situation on the ground. Yes.
Now, hii kumhangaisha, will it not increase the numbers? Because Kenyans at times have what we call sympathy voting. They can associate with you because ya kuteswa na government. Don't you think the more wanaanza kumharass, the more it will add more bonga points to his side?
Kabisa. See, I told you I'm not his follower. I'm not. I've never been. But I'm now there. I'm a man who believes that now, if he's the guy who's going to be causing trouble to this government, I'm among the people behind him. So we are many who are thinking this way. Yeah. You see, sometimes the enemy of your enemy should be your friend. Yeah. So so inakuanga hivyo, unafika mahali unaona for the bigger good acha tukue na huyu rafiki huu adui ambayo
Now, when you look at all this, there is another interesting side of all this, and you equally mentioned that if there is someone feared by this regime is Uhuru Kenyatta. What would be the teaming of Uhuru Kenyatta and Maina Jenga mean to this regime?
It's downfall. Oh my goodness me. That one it's a downfall for the regime. Because these two people, Mount Kenya, hey, I'm telling you, you see the problem with and I can tell you the only thing that is holding this government of Ruto is the Mount Kenya support. And they are so scared about that support so much that they are so worried that what should we do or not do to make sure that we continue being in power. So basically, sikudanganyi my friend. If they team up those two people and call for meetings and maandamano, oh my goodness me, that's the end of this team. Yeah. That's why they're afraid, because they know the you see Uhuru Kenyatta. What people don't know is a silent should I say, I don't use that word, silent mafia. Yeah. yeye hataonekana sana kwa public, lakini pia kwa sababu hao watu wanamhitaji. You see the moment wakina Dede Nyoro and Kimani Ichung'wah keep saying that he's sponsoring, they know at one point he sponsored these people when the Kikuyu were being massacred at, and we know that, all of us know that, when they were being massacred at Rift Valley by Kalenjins. So he whatever, he sponsored that. So they know he is capable. Na mimi hata kama ningekuwa Uhuru in his suit, kwa sababu watu wanataka sponsor. When you keep on saying I'm sponsoring maandamano, he should come out through. Sponsor maandamano, alete maji na waroli, aweke bouncer, aweke roots, kila kitu. Ndio wajue hakuna kitu wanajua. There is nothing they know. This government is made on a quicksand. Quicksand. Hakuna kitu wako nayo. They are not deep. They cannot even, and you know the funny thing, the only thing they have ni hiyo sword na nini. Even the instruments of power, hizo za jeshi na nini, they still don't have it. They are managing very superficial powers in government. That is top secret. People don't know.
Now, there's something that we have said in this show, Time Without Number, that the upcoming of Raila's speech, that kutakuwa na maandamano, it will make dormant leaders from Mount Kenya and other regions who are very active all of a sudden. And true to that, we have seen some interesting comments coming from guys. Tumeona Dende Nyoro ameissue statement, tumeona anaitwa Sanok ama Sankok, these huyu MP mwenye ana lead the guys with disability but enabled differently. I think Sankok tumeona wakiongea. These are guys walikuwa wamenyamaza, but Raila tu ameongea tu kidogo kuwe na maandamano. They are already all over issuing statements and press. And of course, Ndede Nyoro went ahead to say that he blames, or rather he suspects, that Uhuru Kenyatta hataki William Ruto to succeed. Is that even true? Do you think Uhuru Kenyatta is afraid of the performance of William Ruto? Was Uhuru so good that he fears anyone to outdo him?
Mimi, I've said this time and again. Who is this person who wants Ruto to succeed? Do you want Ruto to succeed, Bwana Jex? Because it will be a very bad example in the books of history. Ati tutakuwa tunaambia watoto wetu na vijana wetu na tushushu wetu, grandchildren, that there came a man who stole land, who murdered, committed adultery with the women.
I'll give you time just after this.
Committed adultery, beat his wife, stole Weston, and became president. That would be the worst story to tell in the books of history. So anybody who is anybody who loves Kenya, anybody who loves Kenya.
Rachel Ruto is being beaten.
I mean, hiyo ni example. Mimi nimepeana tu example. Mimi nimeona tu watu huko wamepata chapo.
Wamesema
nasikia alikuwa anataka kwenda kwa shusho, akaambiwa kunyang'aa, kuja usikize speech. Kuja usikize speech yangu bwana. Kuja hii serikali ni ya sarakasi bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you're asking yourself, what is Kamau talking about? There's a photo that is really disturbing.
No, it is on Twitter, bro. There are so many things.
Twitter. I want to display it for you because I don't know. Me, I think labda watu wamemzoea na makeup. So leo hajaweka makeup. That's why maybe kukona all that. But this is the photo that Kamau is talking about. This image here of one and only Her Excellency First Lady Mama Rachel, watu wameidescribe visivyo. Anasema akona maalama usoni, ni probably kukona story na GBV, gender based violence. I don't know. Those are the stories trending kwa Twitter.
It is hii mambo kwa manyumba zina maneno bro. maneno ziko huko kwa manyumba. So kuna siku president yeye mwenyewe alisema Wetangula alipigwa na bibi, initiating ya kwamba yeye hawezi pigwa na bibi, you know, because when you say huyu anapigwa na bibi inamaanisha how, why. So these are the kind of stories we are getting from the house on the hills, and we are asking, or the house on the hill, and we are asking ourselves, would you love that a character to succeed? Ati tukue na mahali asema Kenya ime. No. We want him to fail so that we give him as an example to the kids that are coming that is not the route. Crime does not pay. Criminals cannot build a country. Thieves cannot build a country.
Sasa, now that umesema hivyo, allow me now to bring someone who believes in this government. Bwana Nyagaka, do you believe this government will succeed? And if so, because I know you truly support and believe in the bottom-up economic model, you speak about it, you emphasize it, you say about it so much. Finally, after we talk of William Ruto, will we talk of a success story? Bwana Nyagaka.
Hey, Jakes, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, sir.
SG, Happy New Year. Hii ni serikali ambayo wengi kama mimi tunakubaliana kabisa na everything that it is doing is a wonderful. That's why we voted for them. But it is better for him than for a drunk Kenyatta who took billions and hid it in the islands. And he said when he was in states that once he gets to Kenya, he will say how that money got there. And he has never, ever addressed any of those issues. So we hope that this gentleman really succeeds, and he will. Because the captain, the other day, captain was going to ask me a question, why do you respect them? And it's like it's not here, but the next time he's here, I will answer him directly. Ni kwamba any government anywhere in the world, when it is changing the first time, it is very, very difficult. Ata Kibaki, when he took over, 2-3 months later, people were missing Moi. And that's why he was even voted out. I mean, the first constitution that the Kibaki was supporting was voted out 2005. And he had won the elections in 2002, overwhelmingly. Any government, whenever it tries to change anything, it is very difficult. Right now, in Kenya, we are suffering. Hiyo siwezi, nikiwa mtu ya ODM, ODA kabisa, siwezi kukubali ya kwamba nitaangalia the other side niseme, this government is not, I mean, this government is doing great and the people are doing great. No, people are crying everywhere. So we understand it is only the beginning, and towards the end, when Kibaki was leaving the office, nobody wanted Kibaki to leave. But when he started, everybody wanted him out so that Moi's regime of corruption could come back. So this one, tuende kama hiyo nani huyu Mainda Njenga na the people from the mountain. Vile nilikwambia the other day, Jakes, tukiangalia in the open, if we open up the Kenyan political system, watu ya mountain wakiacha kushikana kabisa, ndio Kenya itakuwa democracy. Anybody can win. But when the mountain puts all together, in and of themselves are like between 30 and 40%. Na hivyo unatafuta watu wadogo sana kuwa kama ni president of anything. Lakini the more they are fighting, the better it is for the Kenyans. Lakini huyu nani, huyu mtu ya huyu anapigania watu huko Nyeri ni vita. No, let us talk ideas. And if we can talk the ideas and the ideas can prevail, so be it. Lakini we do not expect Raila to come and tell us, Maisha, you know, how to lower the standard of living for the people of Kenya. Let him continue that one and pursue it to 2027. He cannot be our supervisor now. We have to do the best we could to make sure that Wakenya wengi wamekubaliana na hii serikali na wataipigia kura. Lakini hiyo ingine yote wanasema ni
hiyo itakuwa achieved aje bwana Nyagaka? How do we achieve people supporting this government yet it's becoming day in day out unpopular with the masses?
No, right now it is, like I said, Jakes, I agree with you. Right now it is very unpopular. Like in 2025, towards the end of 2026, mutakuwa mnatu kiss. Mnasema, where are you guys going? Don't go nowhere. But as of right now, we agree. And I always told you that anytime you change a political system or an economic system, and it is at the beginning of any country in the world, you name it, it is very, very difficult. In the States, when Obama took over, they were losing 800,000 jobs a day. And he came with his own political theory, and then zero Republicans followed him. Except they didn't call for Mandamano and all those other nonsense. They stayed out of it, and Obama changed the United States to be where it is today. So Zakayo, he will, I mean, the bottom-up economics about Meanza, and he just stayed, hiyo pesa ya watu wadogo vile watapata, he said it today. The money was going through Felicia's and all this, but he has changed it to where the common person is getting the money, and if you pay back, you get the money back. Lakini, the people who were against Zakayo's government never gave him a chance, never gave him time. How can anybody be saying that Raila is the one who brought the democracy, and yet it doesn't understand what the democracy is? Democracy ni kwenda kwa kura, ushindwe, ushinde, ule anashinda anapatiwa miaka 5 vile constitution yetu inasema. I'm not the one who's saying it. You're not the one who's saying it. The constitution says 5 years. Na hii kama maandamano, Raila must, I mean Ruto must go, this, for the lack of a better word, this is purely nonsense. We could, I mean, we don't even have to address any of that. Ruto must go where? He's in the state house for the next 5 years, as ule mama Kome alisema. Ile kesi walichukua huko, it was hot air, and we agree. So we will have to wait a little bit, and then, you know, vile walikuwa 2-3 days before the year was out, people were saying that come January, kids could be kicked out of school. No, just today they increased the funding to the Ministry of Education so that they can cater for these students. So you will not hear that again, but you were hearing it in 29th, 30th of last year. You were hearing all this time that wait till January, kids could be kicked out of school, and then the parents will face it. No. So we are doing what we could. It is difficult. We accept. I could not deny that. Thank you, Jakes.
Oh, all right. Now, Bwana SG, Pen Nyagaka always speaks passionate about this country, this government and this regime. But from where you sit, honestly speaking, at what point will this government attract any form of support from the masses, given that every day mwananchi akiamka kuko na something imeongezwa, kuko na kitu imepandishwa mahali, gharama ya maisha haishuki, na mapato ya mwananchi yamesalia vile vile. In any case, hata wengine ni kazi wanapoteza. Okay, so mwananchi ataanza lini kusema najivunia kuwa na serikali?
Kama unangojea hii serikali ujivunie, uamke tu siku moja ujivunie, my brother, you're in the long bet. Hii bet imeungua. Ni vile hata wewe ukibet multibet uweke iungue, hiyo uchungu iko kwa roho. Hiyo ndio uchungu iko na kina Nyagaka. They have been diagnosed with a chronic disease. But now they are living positively. They don't want to they don't want to accept
They are living
The situation. They are living positively. I feel them. But when you look at even examples he's giving of Kibaki and this person is like night and day. Kibaki was not a thug. In fact, this guy, comparing him with Kibaki, it is just like an insult to very distinguished people. And the reason I'm saying that is because the dollar is today at 158, yeah, going to 160 or plus. Kibaki never took it there. It is believed that the dollar has risen like this for the last 26 years. It has never risen. So this guy is a Moi with steroids. This is Kanu with steroids. Ni watu wa Kanu iko inakunywa ma steroids na Kanu ambao ni Promax. So ameturudisha kwa Kanu, si kwa Moi, si kwa Kibaki. Wewe kulingana na wewe Jex, tuongea tu ukweli. Na unajua watu wanafikiri tunachukia watu. Of course tunawachukia, that's a fact. But the question is, surely hii Kenya unadhania kuna kitu itafanyika magically 2026 2027 we kiss their asses? There's nothing. These people have no idea what they are doing there. They are trying to get a class that they cannot have. It's a pathetic government. Pathetic, so to say. In fact, Somalia have a better government. Somalia have a better president. So that is the position we have as a people on the ground. Hapa hakuna pahali tunaelekea. Kibaki, in fact, the first 5 years, badala after kugrow chumi ikafika 7% ambao watu walikuwa wanaona watu wanakopeshewa mapikipiki na magari na nini, still people wanted to throw him out. Yeah, so it is the truth of the matter is that this guy has started the wrong footing and is going to end with the wrong footing. I have no hopes myself.
Bwana Nyagaka, what gives you hope? What keeps your hope alive? Given that despite all the assurances that you give us, despite all the angles you're looking at this government from, what are the indicators you're looking at and saying, okay, maybe right now might not be good, but maybe as we continue this year 2024, things might turn out to be better. So what assurances are you having with this government?
Yeah, Jex, waja niambie SG ya kwanza ya kwamba you cannot compare Kibaki with Ruto. I only was comparing the suffering of the people of Kenya when Kibaki took over, and that's why even you know that's why the people were so seriously in disagreement with the Kibaki that they voted him. I mean, his constitution ile alikuwa anataka ya kwanza out, alafu wakashinda watu wa ODM wakaform party yao from then. Lakini the comparison directly, it is very difficult because Kibaki was laid back and this guy is very active. But kuacha kwa question yako ni kwamba the guy is really streamlining the economy. He has gone all over the world to do away with the loans that Kenyatta took away. I mean, the loans that Kenyatta and Raila took, so that we can really grow our own economy. Sharing, I mean, the dollar imepanda sana kwa sababu they said that the guy who used to be there in Njoroge popped up the dollar by pumping so much money so that the shilling can be stronger than the dollar. And when they took the money out, the dollar has shot up. That is economics 101. So, kuja kwa question yako ni kwamba the rearrangement of what Ruto is doing and his government give us hope for the future. In another 2-3 years from now, it definitely, Jex, the cost of living has to come down for this government to be voted in again in 2027. Kama sio hivyo, you vote us out. Sisi wengine tutaenda nyumbani, tutaambia huyu hata mashamba aende huko Sogoi akae. Not maandamano, not all this other crap that is undemocratic. In a democracy, it takes a long time. It is not like a dictatorship. It takes a long time so that it can change. Let us change slowly, and what gives me a brighter future is that this gentleman, wherever he has gone, he has given a speech, he has been given money, he has been given everything. Coming home, he has done away with the corruption. He's trying to do away with the corruption. Unaona kina Barara wako wanaenda kotini. Kina this gentleman who used to work for KPC. All these people, kina Mandago, all this. If you completely destroy corruption, the future is bright. Thank you.
Okay. Now, but you are saying that yet Kimwarol collapsed. But anyway, the jury is still out there on this government commitment to fight corruption. All right, Bwana SG, I want to come to you. You don't have hope with this regime, but there are things I want to display on your screen just now. If you can bear with me. Now, what I'm about to show you are some indicators from different quarters. Now, this what I'm displaying right now, this is a source from IMF, and IMF has ranked Kenya's growth GDP in 2023 to be at 5.9, a remarkable improvement compared to other years. From where you sit, have you felt that growth?
These are cooked stories.
not
You can imagine. No, it is. I know. It is on the website of World Bank, but I can tell you it's cooked by World Bank. Can I give you a story so that you understand what I mean? Do you know World Bank are the one who proposed Nigeria to sell its oil wealth after placing them at a GDP that is higher than, for example, we are higher than China. That's a joke of a year. Because I don't know what they are looking. They are looking at what the weather. I don't know. But you can imagine today.
We are at 5.9. China is at 5. We are at 5.9.
Can you imagine? Tunaona hii ni mchezo ya paka na panya. But anyway, they have to create an illusion as if Kenya is doing better to hoodwink us so that we sell our assets. And we know what they do. We have lived with the World Bank. We have lived with the IMF. There is nowhere they go and intervene and it progresses. I'm telling you about today. If everything was to be valued by the minerals of a country, that is what's supposed to be, Kenya could be far ahead. In Nigeria today, BP, Shell, and I think, and I'm not so sure about the other company, are the people who control the wells. Yes, imagine unapatia mzungu mafuta yako, anaenda na refine, anakuja na kuuzia. You understand what I mean? It is that crazy. So IMF stories are known. They have cooked these books because wewe na mimi tunaishi nchi. Nini imebadilika? Are people getting loans? Are people buying more cars? Are people buying land? There's nothing. Everything is stagnating. On the contrary, people are being sacked, as you said there. So hii ni stories za jaba za kudanganya wa Afrika ndio tuweze kuuza KICC na tuweze kuuza Kenya Seed na tuuze kila kitu, wazungu wakuja watu nini. So we know these things.
Now that is what you say about IMF. Before I go to the next slide, Bwana Pen, what do you make of this projection by IMF?
Jakes, this is exactly what we have been talking about. And kama USG, kama Kenya ingekuwa ranked at the bottom of this list, it will really appreciate it and accept it for what it is. But when it is ranked positively, then he has a problem with it. IMF ndio banks ambao zilianzwa na huyu mtu ambaye alianza hiyo bottom up economics ambayo nishakwambia all the time. IMF, there was a time they would refuse to give even more any kind of money. So IMF those are the people who loaned the countries of Southeast Asia countries to raise up. But what they did is to, like I've been saying, they have to do away with the corruption. But those domestic product, they have to do it. They have to do a very due diligence to realize what this is all about. Kenya to be to be close to India. Some of us appreciate it, accept it fully. That this is how. Yes, we cannot. You cannot feel this graph for the common person in Kenya, but come a year or two, they will feel it. Yeah.
All right. Interesting. Now, Bwana SG, this next slide is also equally interesting. That Kenya is ranked third globally in foreign direct investment opportunities for 2024, outranking all European nations and emerging first in Africa, according to FDI standout watch list. I'm sure you know what FDI is.
I don't know. What is FDI?
It's called direct invest. It is direct foreign investment. It's an organization that looks at countries, which countries to invest, which country you can so it's a foreign direct investment organization. So it's saying that Kenya is ranked third globally. Yet we were here some few days ago saying, "Oh, investors are running away and all," but some organizations outside there are saying that Kenya has been ranked third. So is it us who are blind? Who is giving this data? Or maybe someone somewhere needs to explain some of these things.
You live with me. You are in Kenya.
What do you make of that?
Which company has come to invest again in Kenya? I mean, the ground. Where angalia ground. Kampuni gani imekuja mpya?
Watasema akina Meta, watasema akina NPA, watasema akina, what do you call this one? Here trade,
Amazon.
You know what you're talking about? Those are technological companies. In fact, they don't need any office. You know, today, ask me where they might have an office in Kenya, Google, but do you have to go to that office to use Google? I mean, these people they have advanced to a point. They have advanced to a point. And in any case, I can tell you for free, those technological companies, the impact on the people is not. It is on the services they provide. If you understand what I mean. So you might see a company that is an app, for example. And if you have a question with that app, there is a way you go and write an email and they respond to you and they solve the problem. They can even solve your problem through email. I mean, I'm trying to understand how those technological companies will turn the Kenyan economy, and they are not our own invention. You understand what I mean? So I would rather to see a company that is making cars, that is making planes and ships and biscuits and bread. You understand what I mean? Because all those companies you're mentioning, they can work remotely. In fact, today, and I'll tell you the truth, most of the people who work for these companies, these big companies, they can work at home, from home. They can work remotely because they are redefining an office. Google is redefining an office. An office is not a physical building. It is a reference point. Today, like we are in a meeting, using this platform of internet and Go and YouTube and all those TikTok. Yes, we're having a meeting. People are listening to us all over the world. We are not in an office. Yes, but we are operating. We are succeeding in our discussions. You understand? So I think it is. I think when you see these things being rated, you can say this is a scams. These are groups that are paid by Kenya Kwanza to lie to Kenyans, but on the ground, many companies are running away because of it. High taxes, high fuel cost, high electricity cost. There's no way you can tell an investor, and I even don't understand how absurd this is. How do you tell an investor to come and invest in Kenya, and then you give him punitive taxes? Tell them patia wafanyikazi wako house allowance, na on top of that wajengee nyumba. Very stupid policies.
Now, this is this what I'm projecting now is their list that foreign direct investment. It has ranked Kenya third. Of course, top on the list according to them is Cambodia, then followed by Philippines. Of course, Kenya comes in third, Iraq comes in fourth, Namibia comes in fifth, with Kazakhstan coming in at number 6. I'm equally having a challenge seeing. I don't know if my my viewers can as well see. Let me try see it from. Okay, the other country coming at number 7 is Azerbaijan. I don't know which country that is. Number 8 is Morocco. Serbia comes in at number 9, and closing the list is India. So Kenya is even higher than India, you can imagine. So only coming third after Philippines and Cambodia. So with that, honestly, what have we done as a country in the last 1, 2, 3 years that might have raised Kenya to that standing, if this is anything to go by?
Yes.
Yes, Ben.
Wacha nianze SG. Hello?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Wacha nianze SG. Yeah. Unasikia? Let me answer SG vile alisema kitambo ati World Bank forces people to sell their properties. My friend, Kenya Commercial Bank is the biggest bank in East Africa. It was sold. Yeah, the post office sold the Safaricom. I mean, now Safaricom formed from it. It is the Kenyan people that bought it. All these companies, say for example, Pipeline hires, I mean, people from the Ministry of Energy hires people to the pipeline, and those people in pipeline have kickbacks to the guys in the Ministry of Energy. If you sell a company like that, you make billions for the Kenyan people, not for the foreigners. Lakini hiyo Kenyan direct investment is something that is statistical as of right now. But in the future, everybody, they know the near future, 6 months from now, everybody will have to feel it so that they can really appreciate for what it is. But what it is, December, everything, this is statistical. Wanafanya studies about inaonyesha kitu kama hii. So to us, it is wonderful. That's why I passionately support this government, because if you can see all these graphs that we are all the way on top, we are going somewhere. If we were in the bottom, we will not be going anywhere. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Bwana SG, the cost of living is an issue that seems not to be going away, and it is now attracting very funny form of protestation from many. With what I've displayed, won't demonstrations deter us from even attracting any investor, if any?
First of all, you asked what was the question again? Cost of living.
Yeah, the cost of living is high, and that's why we want to go for mandamano and everything else. But what I've shown is what other countries are saying, that Kenya is a good place to invest, and it has been ranked third. With protest and with political instability, won't it shy away any potential investor, if any, kama kuna ule mwenye alikuwa akamu, if any, won't it scare them away?
They're already scared, even without demonstration. They are scared of electrical bills. They are scared of tokens. They are scared of fuel. They are scared of environment. They are scared of punitive taxes. I mean, what is mandamano? Mandamano is a small thing. Yeah. So we are doing it as a constitutional right. And to answer Mr. Mzee Apo, who owns Safaricom? Who owns KCB? Because it is not Kenyans. These are Vodafone. These are our Zungus. And much of the bulk of the money goes back to UK. In fact, let me put it so that you understand. So that you understand, I like. It's
the Vodafone is French.
Yeah, whatever. They are Wazungus. What we know is that Wazungu. Those Wazungu. So
but
they take the bulk
the majority.
of. We can manage our own affairs. The reason why somebody seeks to be the president of any country is because you can manage assets of your people. You don't have to relegate your responsibility to Wazungu. You're making them look like they are, as we say, better than black skin. Yeah, there are countries in Africa which have managed to build their own asset and make them profitable. Botswana, for example, you don't have to sell your things to Wazungus to look good. That is a backward way mentality. It has never helped any country. Today, Nigeria are suffering. They lack fuel, despite the fact they are the greatest contributors of fuel in the world. Why? They have given it to BP Shell. BP Shell have a market for that, whatever. So eventually, your assets are gone with people who do not own your resources. So we will stand with the people. And that is why we are calling for the mother of Maandamano, so that at the end of the day, they listen to us. It's a constitutional right. We tell them, don't sell KICC. What for? The president lied on TV and people saw it, telling people that the KICC makes 29 million shillings per year. Only to find out our brothers of NTV who are being used by the Lord of late to expose this government. They went and they saw this building is making almost 1 billion shillings. It just needs to be tightened to better be managed. You understand? And we have very good managers. Let us not relegate our responsibility to Wazungus. That is a backward thinking. It's not going to help us. It's not going to help anybody. We can manage our own affairs without corruption, without stealing, and grow our country. Yeah.
Fantastic. Bwana Pen, what would demonstrations do to our country? After all, we have talked about the investors, those foreign direct investors, how IMF has ranked Kenya. What would demonstration mean?
Demonstration sincerely would dampen those foreigners trying to invest in Kenya. And this is a really good challenge vile SGA amesema. Hiyo ni question ya wananchi kama nyinyi ambao muko na TV station. The ones are called the Kenya Commercial Bank and the telephone companies. Yes, kuna wazungu ambao wameinvest. Sasa nyinyi checks tuambie. Tell us what percentage of the post office is owned by Vodafone? What percentage is owned by Kenya Commercial Bank, KQ? what percentage is owned by foreigners? Kama KQ, watu ambao ni matajiri wengi kutoka mountain wana mandege ambao they are paid directly, and then the government always pays out these companies like KQ. But my challenge, na vile SG amesema ni kweli, is these foreign companies that we have read come invest in Kenya, what is their percentage in it? It's a very small negligible percentage. Nyingi ni watu
Vodacom owns 61%. Bwana Nyagaka, Vodacom Vodafone controls, it controls 61%. That's according to what I'm about to project just now. But go ahead.
Then I lose. Then to SG Kamau, I lose. Because I thought it was a less percentage than that.
No,
if it was anything percentage. More than 50 is wrong.
It's very high. Kamau, that's the percentage you're looking at. Vodafone is the majority shareholder of the Vodacom with 65.1% stake, and the shareholder over 5% in direct equity in Safaricom. So, Bwana SG, you're right.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
Yeah, you
because
see, now,
I thought it was a negligible percentage.
It can't be negligible. It's a lot of. This is money being milked out of Kenya. Milked. You know what I mean? The cow is fed by Kenyans. It is in Kenyan land. Tunakatia napia glass. Tunawekea maji. Maziwa yote inaenda mahali ingine.
Na kama huyu Nyakango aliambiwa atoe bilioni sijui ngapi when the former government was going out, and then he pays for the whatever company it was outside, and it was like even 30 minutes to do that. I mean, I think it was a part of the phone company or something that they were buying. So the corruption is there. If we do away with that kind of corruption, kama vile huyu Nyakango alikuwa na complain ati she was given 30 minutes to transfer the billions, hiyo ndio mbaya. You will never hear the opposition mentioning any of that, but they will see how Zakayo has a story and how Zakayo has ruined everything. But when they are caught red-handed, they never say anything. Mimi nataka nisikia comment kitu kama hiyo.
Bwana SG, before I even come to corruption in both counties and every other place, demonstrations will seriously reduce our performance as a country. We are coming out from so many other challenges: floods, drought, COVID, so many other challenges, including last year's demonstration. With fresh calls for demonstration, aren't we already sinking a country that it's almost on its deathbed?
Yeah, Jakes. We are sinking. We are sinking it. And I told you why we should sink. When you're given a house that is dilapidated, because that's what Kenya Kwanza says. They say that it's dilapidated. We found no coffers, no money in the coffers. So we are finding a house that is raining. Kuna mvua everywhere, every side. So what we are deciding as a meal, because we love this country so much, is this to help Kenya Kwanza with their problem, so that we instead of us renovating the house, we bring it down. Once we bring it down, then we can build afresh a multi-story building. So that story of people getting to power and telling us, we found there was the leakage in Jomo Kenyatta because of Uhuru Kenyatta, because of all these things. So demonstration will be the catalyst. You know what a catalyst is? It will be a catalyst. It will speed up the reaction so that we can get to a place where we can start afresh and talk with respect each other.
Now, unfortunately, watu wa Kenya Kwanza, they are not taking this lying down. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm about to play is what Akina Ndende Nyoro are saying in as far as the calls for demonstrations are concerned. Listen in.
Wa Kenya, our former president, wacha nikuulize kwa heshima. Wewe umekuwa ukihadaa wa Kenya, unatoa pesa ya maandamano. Katika zile maneno yote ya makoti, you've been sponsoring even the court cases to derail the plan of our president and this government. Rais Uhuru Kenyatta, tafadhali. Wakenya walikupea miaka 10. Ile kitu unafaa ukuu unafanya ukiamuka asubuhi ni kushukuru wa Kenya. Wacha maneno ya kila siku unapanga maneno ya kufuruga serikali. Because we know clearly you are the one behind all these shenanigans, you are the one who have been funding them. Na pia nikueleze, wewe ukiwa rais, you sabotaged the housing project of your own government for selfish reasons. You are developing a city called Northlands in Kiambu County. Na hiyo city yako ndio ilifanya ufuruga mpango ya housing project when you are president, so that uweke your interest and the interest of your businesses ahead of the Kenyan interest. Na pia wewe president mustaafu Uhuru Kenyatta, ulitumia kampuni ya China inaitwa CRBC. Wakajega barabara huko kwako kwa city wakitumia pesa ya serikali. Ukienda pale Mwihoko unaona barabara imekata katika shamba yako. Imejengwa private road built by public resources. Na hao wenyewe wakakujegea houses, thousands of houses already there in your land. Wewe fanya biashara yako na uache kusponsor makesi ya kuharibu maneno ambayo inapea hawa wanayuthi wa Kenya kazi. Na wewe umekuwa ukisponsor watu wafanye press conference ati yo shamba hakuna ya kujenga housing projects. If you are generous enough, if you are well meaning, all the land that you have is stolen. You grabbed the land. Wewe shamba yenu yote hakuna risiti mnaweza tuonyesha mlinunua pahali. Kwa hivyo kama unaona ile shamba tunajenga housing project ni kidogo, kata ile uko nayo, kapea hawa wa Kenya hata kama ni mtu eka 5 na bado utaachwa na eka zako za kulisha ng'ondu na ng'ombe yako. Lakini uache kuhadaa wa Kenya na hatukuogopi bana. You must stop sabotage.
So sorry, I was muted. You just need to mention maandamano and you'll have such speeches coming your way. I'll be playing what Sankok said, but they're blaming Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, who do I begin? Let me begin with Nyagaka this time. Is Uhuru Kenyatta to blame for any maandamano that happened in the past or about to happen in 2024?
Well, the gentlemen that are talking about Uhuru sponsoring maandamano, they have the intelligence to that effect. So we cannot really question them. And Uhuru has not himself has not even challenged those ideas that maandamano is the one bankrolling them. And really more importantly, ile pesa mabilioni ambayo waliweka hapo kwa islands, mtu president ya Chile was fired because of that, he was impeached because of that. Hiyo billions zote sioni SG akisema kitu, sioni huyu Kenyatta akisema kitu, na hiyo billions zingine ndiye alipatia nani Raila kanyamaza, kwa sababu he was the one raising the corruption ideas ile ya Eurobond nini. It was Raila asking those questions. But wakati hizo pesa zilipatikana na John Aranamu, hakuna mtu hata mmoja ameuliza Uhuru Kenyatta tuambie hizo pesa ziko wapi. Na hizo pesa zilitoka Kenya. Yeah.
All right. Now, okay. Now, maybe my final question. I want you to listen to this. I had played it earlier, and I want you to listen to this. This is one of the guys who supported this regime, just like you, but he seems to have changed his mind. Want to play him? Then you make sense of what he's saying. All right.
Konoin, Poita location. Mimi mwenyewe ni kukaa ya kwamba sisi kama wananchi wa Bomet vile rais aliongea jana, aliongea kwa njaa ile mimi nilistuka sana kwa wakati alipokuwa akitaja watu wa mama mboga, watu wa bodaboda na watu wengine. Mimi ninavyojua ni kwamba serikali iliyoko sasa ya Kenya Kwanza ni kitu cha maajabu. Kitu kile niliona sana ni wakati alikuwa akiongea katika ikulu ya rais. Wale wote walikuwa wakipiga makofi ni wale ministers. Ya mwisho, mimi kama kiongozi katika area hii, wananchi wengi hawakuenda Christmas kwa sababu hawana pesa. Kile kitu ambacho ninahimiza serikali ni kwamba ukilinganisha serikali ya Uhuru Kenyatta na serikali ya Ruto, serikali ya Ruto ni kupiga mdomo tu, kupiga mdomo tu, kupiga mdomo tu. Ni kama mtu ambaye anakamua ng'ombe, alafu naweka kichungi maziwa ile imetobolewa chini. Sasa hiyo maziwa haichai. Kwa hivyo ningependa niambie ya kwamba Raila angekuwa president wa Kenya, Wakenya wangekaa vizuri na wananchi wenyewe. Sasa hasa watu wangu wa Kalenjin, ninawahimiza kabisa wawaje maneno ya ukabila na wachunge Kenya. Sasa kufunguliwa kwa shule sasa Kenya, sasa wananchi wa Kenya watakuwa na tabu kubwa sana, hasa mashule hizi sa watu ambao watoto wanaenda shule na kurudi. Uhuru alikuwa ameweka elimu iwe free. Sasa Ruto alisema elimu itakuwa free. Sasa shule ikifunguliwa, ile kitu ninawajua wananchi wa Kenya saa hii wanalia kidete, hasa wale walikuwa naunga mkono Kenya Kwanza. Ole wao.
Waliounga Kenya Kwanza, ole wao. Now, Penya Gaka, you still remain standing tall, but that is someone already in the heart of Bomet saying ole wao waliosimama na William Ruto, kwa sababu one of the things he's saying is that waliahidiwa pesa mfukoni, na ukweli pesa ni kama ilikuja kutolewa, ile kidogo ilikuwa ile kidogo alikuwa nayo ndio imekuja kutolewa. What do you make of his sentiments even as we wrap up this show?
Well, the all main sentiment that really they are forthcoming. There's nothing wrong with them. But ile ameona ni any government that is difficult enough ambayo inaanza ndio tunasema inakuwa ngumu. Na hiyo maisha, those are just a reflection of what we have just repeated here before. Yes, it is true. It is the life is not easy and it is difficult. But the only problem we have today is kwamba yes, is these ODM people, these as new people, have never given us a break. Kwamba when you get 5 years, you guys disappear to go regroup in how you would win the election the next time. But instead they are calling Mandamano, Ruto must go, nini. And yes, exposing the old gentleman like that, we cannot argue with him. But who does he believe that will help him out? Kenyatta and Raila have ruled Kenya for the last 5 years. Did they see any of that? Did they bring any development that was different? No. If anything, they put all their money together to their home. Even Kenyatta was building is not like the housing project in kila kitu. So how does that help the common mwananchi? Never. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Now I give you time to wish our viewers a happy new year, and unaweza tuma pia salamu kwa wawili watatu hapa nyumbani na wawish mwaka mzuri. I'm sure many maybe from your area might be watching. And you told me you are a man who is close friend with one Mr. Machogu. Shule zinafunguliwa next week. Na Wakenya wataona ile kitu. But anyway, I give you a minute or so to do that.
Happy New Year. Tumemsalimu sana Mheshimiwa Machogu, Mheshimiwa Mudavadi. Na asa kabisa They're my best friend, the blackest man in Black Africa, Fred Machoka himself.
Machoka.
Nimemsalimu sana. He's a personal friend. He's a very dear friend of mine. Ninamsalimu sana, and hopefully I will see him this year.
You plan to come to Kenya?
Yeah. Ni ananipatia magari, ananichukua kutoka kwa airport kama presidente. Yeah. So happy New Year, everybody, and everybody, please join TD. Mr. Chicks himself, and he lets us view. Air our ideas, even if they are not very common to the common wananchi, but TD. Jakes anakubali na sisi. Hapa tuna pasa mmoja anaitwa TD Jakes, ndio bila keep saying it.
Maybe I follow from him. Lakini nasikia kona story kibao. We'll be looking at that maybe later on.
Yeah.
But is it true that he could be jamaa wa sim too? I don't know even if you understand what I'm saying. There is this prophetess who has really caused a stir up on social media, claiming that the man of God could be in this what do you call it? This
homosexuality.
Yeah. Is it true?
Niliona hiyo jana. I saw the comment yesterday.
Is it a true thing?
No. Nobody knows.
Okay. Because we leave it all to God, and anyone is entitled to their opinion. But in Uganda,
nilisikia kitu kama hiyo, lakini you never know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now in Uganda, Penyagaka, the president of Uganda is saying he cannot kiss his wife in public because the day he does that, he will surely lose his seat. Now,
if I kissed my wife in public, I will lose all the elections in Uganda. Because Africans don't show what is private. They don't show it in public. If you want to kiss, you know the address of kissing, where it is. If I kissed my wife in public, I will lose all the elections in Uganda. Because Africans don't show what is private. They don't show it in public. If you want to kiss, you know the address of kissing, where it is.
And that is how we wrap up this show. Africans don't kiss their wife in public. But of course, of late kumekuwa na public display of affection from so many people. I think the country or countries in Africa are adapting to that PDA, public display of affection and all. But in Uganda, the president is saying, you know what? To kiss his wife in public, that will be the day he loses his seat. What do you make of that video, Bwana Nyagaka?
I mean, you have to give him a break for what age he is, I mean, how old he is. And we grew up seeing what he's talking about, our uncles. One of my daughters went home with his mom, and alikuja kuniuliza, Daddy, how many grandmothers you have? Na hiyo ilikuwa very funny kwa sababu they never showed the affection in the public. Never. Kuna mheshimiwa mmoja ni neighborhood walijengea mama yao nyumba mzuri sana, na huyu mama akaenda akaleta bibi mwingine kwa mzee. So it is the African tradition ambayo wetu imerap off, lakini the African tradition ambayo huyu mzee anasema, we understand it, we saw it. Ungeona mzee ameenda mwaka mzima ama miezi kadhaa kama watu wa army, alafu when he comes home the wife kisses him and all that. No, they knew the address of kissing and all that. So, and he's saying that in 2024, it is really time bound, but it shows where what generation he grew up in. That's the only difference. Yeah.
All right. So he comes from that old generation ya
Right,
kukazia
right.
vitu kiasi ama.
Right, right. Because, you saw that. At my age, I saw that growing up a lot because there was no way you would see a man kissing his lady and all this other stuff. Even if you mnamleta kutoka maybe town, mnambebea mishigo na bibi akikuja na msalimu na mkono tu. Lakini kama ni hizi zingine kama America, even if because 1 day or 2 days, they anamuhagi anamkiss kila kitu. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
it reminds me of another old one from none other than the former president Moi. Moi used to make such funny jokes concerning PDA, sorry, and this time he spoke about a letter. I want to play that one as my final clip, even no my final of such kind in this show. Listen to this narration by former President Moi.
Nilimwambia mimi hadithi moja iliyosema kana msichana na mvulana anamwambia msichana I love you, I can even jump over the fire. Naambia I can jump over the cliff. Nile kato. Na akaandika chini akasema I'll see you on Saturday if it does not rain. Sasa mnajua mapenzi gani hiyo? Kama hawezi kuja tu kwa mvua.
So that was Moi when he talked about mapenzi, Those are good moments, eh?
Yeah, but we never saw Moi's wife.
Sawa,
Yeah.
sawa. Thank you so much, Penyagaka. I wish you, your family, and many that know you a happy new year.
Okay, thank you. You do the same.
Now allow me to
You
wrap
do
up.
the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the
Now,
year
ladies and
I
gentlemen,
definitely will see. I will see you in Kenya, definitely.
I would really love it.
Okay, my friend.
Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for always choosing Afriq 24. This has been your channel last year. We gave you content after content. We promised you to deliver, and we did as per our ability. Thank you very much for choosing Afriq 24. Even in 2024, we choose to really give you the very best. We aspire to give you quality, not just any other thing, but the very best from the bottom of our hearts. We'll give you news as it happens, and we will increase most of what we give you in form of content. Asanteni sana for always tuning in to Afriq 24. There are guys who sent in their Happy New Year wishes, and I will be playing them and equally wrap up the show. But thank you very much for being part of this first edition of year 2024 here at Afriq 24, of course, with your host, none other than Jakes, the moderator. Now, your show, the morning review, might not begin tomorrow, but Wednesday, right? If it will be tomorrow, I'll confirm, but I think Wednesday we will be good to go. Thank you so much for guys who support us, but equally find it in you to support us through subscribing. Subscribing to Afriq 24 guarantees you such and many content like this, including the one being asked by many hapo kwa comment section, that paper review that happens every morning with none other than Leo Nyabaya. So I'll be confirming, but I think on Wednesday the show will be up and running full throttle. All right. Fantastic. Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. I wish you the very best of 2024. You guys have been amazing. Asante, asante, asante sana.
Hello, viewers of Afriq TV. This is Jeremani, author of the Trouble with Kenya, Mackenzie Blueprint. I take this special moment to wish you a happy new year and a prosperous 2024. Stay tuned.
Hello viewers, this is your host Leo Nyabaya, and as the year comes to an end, I want to thank you so much for viewing our contents and subscribing to our channel. I would also want to wish you a happy and prosperous 2024. So keep subscribing to our channel, that is Afriq 24 and Leo TV, for much is coming for you in 2024. See you then, and thank you so much.
Hello everyone, this is Ndalendo from Afriq 24, wishing you a happy new year and a prosperous 2024. As we usher this new year, I want us to remember our history. I want us to remember things that made us proud as a country. I want us to remember Eliud Kipchoge Keino, the guy who broke the world record. I want us to remember Mohamed Salah. I want us to remember Diamond Platinum. I want us to remember Burna Boy. I want us to remember Wizkid. Those people who brought glory to the African continent in the art industries and in the sports industry. Here in Afriq, we want to celebrate anybody who is bringing glory to Africa. And as we usher in new year, I want to thank you all for being a part of the Afriq family and subscribing to Afriq ideology. Here we practice a broadcast. We encourage you from all over the world to come and subscribe on Afriq 24 and be part of the voice of change in Africa. This is the platform that unites Africa. It's one big tribe called Africa. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best with your family. I wish you wealth, I wish you good health, and I wish you success in the year 2024. Asanteni sana.
To our esteemed viewers, followers, and subscribers, on behalf of Afriq 24 TV, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a very happy new year. Thank you for being part of us. God bless you.
Hi viewers, it is Mr. G from Afriq D24, wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you for being so special to us.
Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. Eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie.
yetu, kweli yapendeza, kweli yavutia. Tunajivunia Kenya nchi yetu, kweli yapendeza, kweli yavutia.
Tushangilie Kenya